Okay.
I have the stream pulled up now.
Okay, let's check. Check, 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 mic, check, check, check. Mic at a mic, mic at a check, mic at a check, 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 mic. Mic at a check.
Sounds
check,
solid.
Check, mic. Check, 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 talk, talk, talk. Hold on, I'm gonna listen to myself in a second. Check, check, talk, talk, talk. Hold on, I'm gonna listen to myself in a second. There's like very, very slight still, so we gotta. Very, very slight still, so we gotta. Yeah, you can hear like a little bit of it still. Yeah, you can hear like a little bit of it still. I'm gonna keep talking into the mic. Let me turn up the volume a little bit. Talking into the mic. Let me turn up the volume a little bit. Yeah, I gotta figure out something with this, cause yeah, I gotta figure out something with it. Sounds better though. It sounds better though. Okay. All right, you ready to do talk yourself?
Yep.
You ready to do talk yourself?
Test, yes, 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 yes. Test, yes, 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 yes.
All right.
Yes.
All right. All right, let me tweet this out. We're gonna take a little while though, because I got to. New link. New link. All right, let's give it a couple minutes and then we'll start this thing. Let's give it a couple minutes and then we'll start this thing. Early episode feels good. Early episode feels good. I'm gonna go mute this now. Don't need this. Pop this chat out. ASMR. All right. Let's just jump into it, David. Let's just do it.
All right.
Kel's, we back. Yeah. Audio is crackling and it's being weird. I fixed some of it, so it sounds a little better, but bear with me. I'll mess around with it somehow. Audio's it's weird. So it's going through that voice modification thing, which it shouldn't affect it because like a lot of other streamers have that.
Which voice modification thing?
A voice mod. It's the one that, let's see if it even works right now. Hold up a sec. Whoops. That's gone. There's my dashboard. It's somewhere. I'm not gonna pull it up. It's the one that changed my voice, and I was doing that for when I was streaming a little more. I would do like little point things. You could change my voice for a bit or something. And it's used by a lot of people, so it's not that, but it because of that, it's like a really weird, like, what do you call it when you like a daisy chain? It feels like.
Yeah.
I need to like just watch a couple of videos and see how people streamline their stuff. I mentioned this last week, but I get so jealous when I ever see like podcasts. They just pop in and out, people like that, but it takes me like a solid while because I got to reformat all these windows, and I feel like I'm doing it wrong. I'm doing it like the old archaic way versus I'm sure there's some fancy way people do it nowadays, but oh well. Well, it'll get better in time. I'm hoping to get really good at that by the time we get to Games Gone By, so that way it's kind of fancy.
I just realized that we're switched around on the screen.
Oh, how the fuck? See, I don't get that. Oh, because the name changed. Yeah, when because Discord had the name change thing.
Oh yeah. Forgot about that.
Yeah, so that's why It orders it by alphabet. I don't
Okay.
understand. I don't understand any of this. It's so bizarre to me.
Oh, dumb.
It is. So then how do I fix
Usually that was a mistake. Let's go back.
It's funny because Gore on a regular basis complained about Skype. I had to tell him that like I miss Skype too. It's better, but like it's getting outdated just by virtue of it being old.
Yeah, it's because Microsoft really doesn't fucking do anything with it.
Yeah, so like it's not gonna last. All right, so I gotta overhaul this shit anyway, so fuck it. I'm just gonna do the quick fix for now and we'll figure it out later. I know I'm doing this
Beautiful.
wrong.
It's like Christmas.
I know I'm doing this wrong, but fuck it.
But
Um,
fuck it.
Let's see.
Right in its cute little taint.
And then we're gonna. Oh, I gotta fix it anyway because the layout is. No, is layout fine or no?
Well, that's fine.
Am I overlapping on the corners or is that gonna be it?
Who cares? We're fine.
I get like really anal about some of that stuff and it's annoying. Let's see. Kel said my old Yeti used to like at certain points not like a certain USB port on your computer and would give feedback. That might be it. I might need to just find a more direct outlet. Just
I'd
sucks when-
also recommend just trying the Nvidia's broadcast option. It does really good AI audio cleanup.
The what?
Nvidia has a optional driver for their graphics cards called Broadcast, where it does AI cleanup of audio automatically.
What a world. Okay, can you remind me of that next week? Make a note of that or something, and I'll
I used it for years, and I just haven't reset it up on this latest Windows install.
remind me. And then David, actually, like especially before we boot up Games Gone By, I would love for us to sit down and just like really see if we could robust make this stream so it's really fancy by the time we're doing that.
Yeah.
Trey Fidias, Gore ever coming back or is he done? We talked about this a bit last week. Yeah, we talked about this a bit last week. I don't know. He hasn't really been communicating. If you're curious about it, you can ask him. We've tried talking, but he's just kind of gone. He's kind of gone MIA. We hope he's all right. I don't know. I know he was having a bit of a tough day yesterday, which I get happens. But hope
Genuinely, he hasn't talked to us in like almost 2 months now. So
yeah, I mean,
And
we had a
again-
bit of a talk about this last week where we just trying to keep it transparent. I was saying he was taking a break, but he hadn't really just said anything, so I assumed that's what he was doing. But yeah, no, he's been kind of MIA, but it's not like I don't think he's like upset. He like I'm still a mod in his live chat. We haven't like unfollowed it. Would unfollow each other, which is like the internet way of saying like a breakup. But he just doesn't really reply to anything. I feel like he just kind of decided to focus on other stuff, which is cool. Just hope he's all right. That's kind of our thing.
if we did do something to bother him, like just tell us. We're all adults here.
We're adults. Getting too old, if anything. But yeah, no, I hope he's okay. He's there in his queue ready to pop out butterfly. We love that for him. I'm rooting for his wings to be fucking massive.
Like his fat hog of a cock.
That's it. Hopefully all works out. Same. I hope I hope he's good. I know a lot of times E3 can be a little stressful for him because he just pumps out fucking content left and right. But yeah, if you're curious, I don't know if you guys want to ask and see if you guys get something on that. Cool. But he hasn't really said anything to us, and I kind of want to respect if he's just like needs to distance himself. I want to respect it. I don't want to push him or nudge him or feel like there's pressure or anything. Just hope he's all right. We love Big Buddy Gore here. Yep. We're hoping for the best for the man. But yeah, just not trying to cause like drama or anything. Just want to be like transparent. Hence why like Games Gone By, which we'll talk about in a second, is going to be like just me and David, and we'll rotate it out. If Gore ever wants to obviously be on that, there's a couple games on here that I'm sure he would love to talk about, like Nier being one of them, obviously. Yeah. Phoenix Wright being one of them. Resident Evil 7, obviously too. He's totally welcome. Like that's not like he's barred or anything. He just needs the messages to be like, hey, I want in, and we're like, cool, got you. But yeah, so for here on out, will be me and David. We're kind of feeling the idea of maybe filling eventually a third spot, but for now we're kind of open to like a rotating third. So once schedules are stabilizing, when we figure out our new permanent day, once after like July starts gearing in and we kind of have more time, it's more or less my schedule. I'm traveling a bit, so once we figure out our new set day, we'll figure out like a rotating chair, and then who knows, maybe one of them clicks and we stick with them. As of now, Games Gone By, again, like that, is going to also have a rotating third. So let me talk about that real quick. Games Gone By, we had our schedule. We called a couple audibles, one of them being this most recent one, because this is now getting on the verge of being more than I can chew, but I'm gonna knock this out. I promise you. Promise it on the podcast right now. Games Gone By, we're booting back up in August. Channels videos will remain on my channel until they start getting re-uploaded onto the new Games Gone By channel. We'll give more details about that closer to when we launch, which will be in mid-August. It might even be a little earlier. We'll see. I gotta figure out this algorithm game. But for now, let me give you the full schedule of what Games Gone By actually is. And we have a couple. Yeah. So August, we're doing 2 Games Gone By. Middle of the month will be our first episode coming back. Alan Wake, which also, by the way, we're recording separately from Blue Rupees. It'll be its own show from now on. Alan Wake will be first episode. Alan Wake's American Nightmare will be the end of August. Middle of September, Resident Evil. Or no, actually, are we doing Resident Evil middle of September or end of September? We didn't discuss that.
I assumed everything would be end of the month unless it
well,
was...
because we have FF7 that year, or that month. That was the only month that felt...
That's right.
Yeah, so FF7 has snuck its way onto Games Gone By just because I feel like I want a really beefy and tasty talk when Rebirth comes out. I want it to be that I'm talking about it, I understand everything going on, David can fucking talk about everything that he's freaking out about. Like, I want it to be a robust talk, so therefore I'm biting the bullet. I'm gonna do Final Fantasy 7. Let's see, Kel says, will it be a separate day from Blue Rupees or just after? No, it'll be a separate day. I think one thing that hindered us on Blue Rupee or Games Gone By was just having to record the same day. Was like, oh, we had a 2-hour Blue Rupees. Fuck, we don't want to do a 2-hour Games Gone By because you're exhausted. Yeah. Some of the episodes that were like 4 or 5 hours, we were just exhausted by the end of it, and it kind of felt like a disservice to some of the games because instead of us coming in like ready to go, it's just like we're kind of tired. So it'll be separate. I believe the day we're settling on is Monday. So I'll have a set day for that. They'll be Mondays, I believe so. So we'll figure out September, but for now, both games September is Resident Evil 7 and Final Fantasy 7. Got some 7s in there. October, middle of the month, will be Silent Hill. End of the month will be Iron Lung. I believe, at least. I could be getting some of these wrong. Near Replicants, November. December, I'll have a date. I'll have a calendar for this. In fact, I'm gonna start ignoring the whole middle of the month thing. December's Beginner's Guide, Her Story. January, shouts to Kel's in chat. Booked his spot up there. Persona 5 Royal, that's happening in January. Kel's booked their spot on there. Again, if you want to be on any of these episodes, message me on Twitter. Black Mesa is February. 13 Sentinels, Age's Rim is March. Enter the Gungeon and Cook Serve Delicious is April. We're doing a fan vote in May. June, David's finally, it's one of his games. I think he got 2 banger games that he's been wanting to do for ages. Yakuza 0 is happening in June, and then July, Phoenix Wright. Travis says, I've been following Blue Rupees for a bit. I feel like you guys are the only podcast I watch. I respect that. That's cool.
Oh yeah.
I recommend there's some good podcasts out there though, but you probably should listen to them because you'll see the quality be a lot higher on there. And you're like, what am I doing? Podcasting is fun. It's funny that podcasting is a term that's stuck because it had no relevance to what any of this was. I saw on Reddit someone put a clip from Howard Stern and said he called Howard Stern this dude on this podcast, and we were like, what the fuck? This dude on this podcast, sir? That's Howard Stern. That's on the fucking radio. That made me feel like a way. Let's see. I'll be down to hop on any other ones. You need a third too. I plan on playing along as many as possible. Perfect. Yeah, we're gonna see how these fill out, how these go, and we're we're totally welcome to just like have people on because we want to gush about these. We want to just like go full in. There's some games like Near Automata that we had like really good talks for. And I'm like, we need those talks every episode. If we can do that, magnificent.
You know, it's also weird to think about the fact that like we've been podcasting for half our lives.
Yeah, we have.
Like that's wild.
Who was I talking to about this? I was talking to someone about this, and the conversation ended up going how like I was like, yeah, me and my buddy talk about like maybe once every couple months about how we could have had different life trajectories if we had just had the work ethic. We were on the ball for so many things early on, podcasting being one of them, YouTube videos being another one. Like we were on it early. Streaming could have easily nailed that shit out easy, but we just didn't because we were young and dumb and just kind of wanted just doing things for fun. You had to have that killer drive at the beginning to be like, I am doing this, which is I respect that. Any OG that's running from them, good shit, because I couldn't do that. But podcasting, it has been. My first one was January 2009, so 14 years ago was my first podcast. It's just fucking nuts. But yeah, it's interesting. I love doing it. I've always loved doing it. It's just nice, especially Blue Rupees being here still. 208 episodes.
The longest thing we've done at period, really.
Never in a million years. When you, like I always mention it, Gore sort of proposed the Blue Rupees. He pitched it to me saying, well, because we were doing, I forget what else we were doing around that time, but he was like, why don't we just do like, because I think we were doing Not in the Movie podcast around there. I could be wrong. But he was like, let's just do a video game one, and we just needed a third, and then I just hit up David because I know he's always kind of been like the podcasting cohort of mine, and yeah, I mean, I've listened to enough podcasts. I feel like I got a decent grasp on it, but there's definitely a lot to learn. It's got a lot easier over time. Listen to episodes like 1 through like 20, and you can hear how like shaky it is because it's been a while since we were like actively doing these. But I'm loving it.
So
it's nice.
To get back in the flow, but
yeah, we just haven't had a deep dive into what to improve, right? Like that's why I mean, with back in the olden days, it was literally just like record the Skype call. Now it's like you got to have some production value, even if it's a basic one. Like this is as basic as it gets now, but it could be more, and it should be more, right? Like it doesn't need to be overproduced. That's kind of the thing I don't want to do.
Well,
I don't want to.
Like aside from like the comedy button, there shouldn't be any audio issues in your podcast. I feel like they get away with it just because that's their legacy. Which Pepperoni and Cheese, I don't think we've officially acknowledged them shutting down. But
yeah, we mentioned it kind of like that it was happening. That was one of the dude. I was there from the GameSpy podcast.
Yeah, you got me into them at like episode 10 of the regular one.
Or the comedy button?
Comedy button, yeah.
Yeah, I was there when they were like, because dude, the GameSpy debriefings, that's what it was. The GameSpy debriefings. It was wild, dude. It was a regular ass podcast, like a regular video game podcast, and then Scott Bromley just crashed it and just derailed the fuck out of it, and everyone was like, holy shit, this is incredible. And they just kept doing it, and then eventually they had to close up the briefings, and they did that Kickstart, and they were one of the earliest Kickstart success stories because they had $40,000. Granted, they did not do some of those promises initially, but I mean, like what they did was good, and I was happy with it. But yeah, that's kind of why, like, as the podcast grows and evolves, I'm not too scared or worried about it, right? Because like I feel like not even with Gore not being here, but even prior to that, I feel like some episodes just derailed to a point where we just didn't even talk about games at some point. It could have been like 2 hours long and we just didn't talk about games, which is cool. That's fine with me. Just like whatever it naturally goes into is what I want it to be. And I feel like some of the best podcasts from episode 1 to where it's at now are totally different, but that's good. I think that's when you guys find your niche and your foothold. And as long as you got that audience and you're still doing that, cool. But it's just an interesting thing to constantly evolve and learn and figure out over time, which is cool. Games Gone By, like I said, that's happening. We'll figure it out. There's the channel, there's everything at Games Gone By. Still the Twitter, if you ever want to follow that. We're still chilling on there. Got that thing squatted up, and I opened it up again the other day, which is cool. I've been shout out to Kells. I've been streaming a ton on Twitch lately. I've just been sitting on Twitch because I'm playing Street Fighter. I'm like, yeah, and whenever I game on PC, I'm like, yeah, I could just stream. Why not? Why I'm already there. So Kells has been showing up to a lot. So twitch.tv/Defun. Shout outs to Kells.
I'm a true fan.
Yeah, they've been sitting where I've been hanging out there, getting through World Tour mode, just on that grind to get that classic Cammy costume. I'm still not there yet. I'm hoping.
I'm almost there. I've been leveling pretty quickly, so I actually had a lot of the jelly deals already on me.
Where do you get those? Just randomly from people?
Every area that opens up, the merchant in that area has a vendor that'll sell a specific item. I think it's Brazil's vendor sells the candied eels.
Okay,
if not, I know I've gotten them. I got like 4 from random enemy drops.
Yeah, I know that random enemies sometimes drop. I haven't seen them yet, but I need to see who sells them because I got so much money just backed up that I'm like, I need to get my girl Cammy some stuff.
Yeah, I already got her at like 56 or something like that.
I love that they know what they're doing when you're following that conversation path with her. Just saying yes, ma'am, and then she has you doing. My favorite thing so far was, and I didn't stream it. I kind of wish I did because my reaction was good. It was hey, I need you to do some intelligent reporting over here in Beat Square, and then you're like, I need you to take a picture of here, and you don't know what you're doing, so you're walking up like, and you think, I gotta take a picture of this person. You pull up the mission mode, and you're just taking a picture of a cat. I was like, oh, Cammy. Good times. Cal, now shout out to you for keeping me entertained at work. Hey, man, summertime, perfect for me just streaming. It feels good. And I hope to make a regular stream schedule too. It's cool to eventually just keep that. And I keep the Bruin on there. It's cool to have people just kind of dip in and out of it, which is nice. I don't mind that. With all that said, David, what'd you get this week?
Hell yeah. Let's fucking dive right into that real quick as I throw everything onto the fucking floor.
I threw it on the ground.
So, as usual, got a few dollar PC games because, again, people don't seem to care about physical PC games, so you can get them dirt cheap. I got Dying Light physical and Bulletstorm physical. This is something that I basically got for dirt fucking cheap just because it happened at the time when they had like the $10 Venmo credit if you link your Amazon and your Venmo, and there were some other promotional credits going on at the same time. So I got this pre-order for dirt cheap, but I got the collector's edition of
Loops. I hate that box.
It is a kind of a dumb
I don't know what I'm gonna do with that box.
Oh, you got it too?
No, I just hate. Like, if I ever had a box like that, I'm like, what the fuck am I gonna do with you?
It's what I do is I throw all my collector's boxes into storage containers and just keep the games themselves out there.
Yeah. So as you can see behind me, I'm like currently in the midst of trying to reorganize my out of space. I'm trying to think ahead too, but I've run out of space on my other shelf to like consistently be like, all right, future games need to fit on here without having to constantly reshuffle. So I'm trying to default all games otherwise to around this shelf, but I don't have enough room on here. So I'm like, do I move these things, the collector's editions, on a shelf over here? But then I'm like, all right, but I have some room on here, so I cleared some stuff out, put some stuff there. I don't have enough room. I'm like, I hate it. First world problems, but like, also like that's why you don't see too much of the floor. The floor around here is a fucking garbage pile. But I'm trying to reorganize to make it all look good and not have to think about it for a while.
That's fair. And then Power Wash Simulator. Got the PS5 version of
Hell
that.
yeah.
And then last but not least, the Final Fantasy Pixel Remaster Collection for Switch.
Oh, you did it.
I got it for the Asia English version there.
Yeah, I keep thinking about it, but I'm just not that fan.
That's
it's
fair.
too much money. It is ridiculously too much money for that.
You know, it breaks down to $10 a game, which isn't terrible.
All right, well, how about
honestly.
this? It's ridiculously low printed.
That's fair. I must pee.
Jesus, that was a record time. Need to cop the original Pixel remaster. I keep going back and forth on a game I won't open. Yeah. I'm kind of on there too. It's like it's cool. I want it, but I don't know. I'll play it on Steam Deck or Switch and I'll just download it. I'm if I was a bigger Final Fantasy fan, because I'm not really one to begin with, kind of. I'm hoping the changes. I don't know. I would probably be a lot more inclined to, but biting the bullet on a $75 game on top of like the fact that I gotta like rush to get it. If it was like open right now, I would have impulse bought it probably, but like I'm already trying to like not spend so much on random shit that I just don't care about. But yeah, I need to stop my too. I know I keep doing that. I think formally the way you're supposed to do it, you're supposed to either have like a long pause or repeat yourself, kind of like this. I almost did it. But if it was regular price, I would have already copped it. Yeah, that's how I feel too. If it was not that much.
I
Welcome
love
back.
sours, but goddamn, they go through me quick.
Yes, sir. What else did you get? Is that it?
That's it.
Nice. I haven't got anything that's not digital, so we're moving on. Let's see.
Oh, technically, I got the Persona 4 Ultimax completed box again, but I've given up like displaying the stuff that I got just to have completed box again because it takes so much time.
That's fair. Cal said, "Damn, David is a sours guy. What are you drinking?"
I am drinking. It's from who the fuck is the brewery? I think it's a local brewery. Yeah, it's over in Biddeford. And it's called Charms and Hexes. It's a guava and passion fruits sour.
And you like it?
I do and quite enjoy it. What is Banded Brewing? That's it. Over in Biddeford, they do a really good concoction there. There is a company I've really taken a liking to that's local called Kushnock. And they actually do a sour I really enjoy. It's a triple berry. It's a blackberry, blueberry, and strawberry sour. Just fucking fantastic.
I had an idea, totally unrelated, but I'm writing it down to discuss with you later.
Blue Rupees Drunk Cast, where we just review alcohol.
You're not a specific idea like that, but you're not far actually.
Hell yeah.
That sounds so good. We have a local brewery that specializes in sours too, called Prairie Ale Works. Nice.
Ooh. Yeah, Maine actually, I think we're in the top, or if not, we are in the top now for the most amount of breweries per capita now. With how
North Carolina has the most, right? That's what I always heard. Was North Carolina just like has an incredible amount of breweries?
I think we edged it recently. If not, we're in the top just because, again, our low population skews a lot of our metrics.
I think they have more. But yeah, no, per capita, you might be right. Let's see, most breweries per capita state. Vermont.
Oh, interesting.
Let's see. Oh yeah, no, North Carolina. No, what the fuck? I thought North Carolina had the most. So they had a lot of school for it. Yeah, y'all got beat out. So Vermont, 15.6. Maine, 14.2.
Ah, so we're second then.
Yeah, kick their ass, David. Who has the most coffee shops? I'm curious about that.
I gotta imagine that's probably gonna be like a New York or a fucking
Per
San
capita
Diego.
though?
I still think it's gotta be a big city just because that's such an in-demand thing.
Yeah, no, Hawaii.
Oh, interesting.
Hawaii, followed by Alaska, followed by Oregon.
You know, Seattle would have been
Washington
another good
is
guess for me,
fourth.
too.
Washington is fourth. Which makes sense. I just think per capita is what fucks it up because you're talking like massive cities, which you just can't keep up with it.
Yeah, because that's the thing is like Portland, Maine, I think is still the most restaurants per capita.
Restaurants per capita. Let's look at that too. And that's you said per. Let's do per
Portland,
city.
Maine, yeah.
Well, no, I think these are just like doing most in general. I need to look for per capita. Ooh, you guys. Oh, as a couple years ago, maybe. Let's see. As of 2020, so it could be outdated. Once again, second.
God damn. All right.
Portland, Oregon's first.
What a bunch of fuckers.
Oh man, I went to the wrong Portland. Yeah, because I know like we have a lot of coffee shops here too, but again, I think just once it gets to a bigger city, that's when things kind of get start derailed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I put a note on here, David. I think feel like we can do something with that. We'll see. I need to stop saying but that's not going away. We'll see. Signa said, I enjoy my donut excursions while staying in Portland, Maine.
Hell yeah. What'd you see while you were in Portland? Let us know in the chat.
I saw a lack of Mexicans selling burritos.
That is true. I mean, just you could have stopped at a lack of Mexicans. We don't.
Yeah, it was when I was out there. There happened to be a what was it specifically in Maine or Portland that was going on?
It was a food festival that was going on.
I just happened to land there on a food festival. We didn't know, but we're like, because we were just going to Portland, right? Wasn't that the thing? And then we just happened to see the food festival. We're like, oh, okay, why not just do that?
I don't remember why we went because we went during the games conference.
I wanted to go to Bar Harbor, and you said no because it's too incestual and you don't want to be around there. So you said let's just go to Portland.
Yeah. That's right.
And so
your other idea was to go to Acadia, which was a 5-hour drive there, and then 5-hour back on. I didn't want to do at that point.
Which, to be fair, I don't. At that point, I was doing whatever. I don't give a shit. But yeah, so you opted against Bar Harbor, and I said, all right, fuck it. Where can we just get some food? And you said let's just go to Portland then. And then it happened to be a food festival, and we played a game of spot any Mexican besides me, and neither of us won because we didn't see any.
I thought we did find one on like the way out. We found like one taco truck.
No, we found taco. We found Mexican food. We didn't find Mexicans.
Oh.
We saw plenty of tacos and burrito spots. No Mexicans.
Which is unfortunate because now one of my favorite places to go is there is a place that opened up right down the road from me. That is just a very small hole-in-the-wall shop run by a Mexican family. That is just
my people. I will see you guys someday. That's David's trying to talk me into living there plenty of times. I told him I don't know if I could because my type does not exist out there.
No, your type isn't out here, and also I'll admit, especially weirdly as I'm getting older, the thing I get most frustrated by is how early shit closes around here. It's impossible to do anything past 9 p.m. Everything.
You would think it'd be the opposite. You would think as you grow older, you don't care about the later things. It's just more that as long as people are open early.
No, because I've had insomnia since I was 16, except now I'm an adult and I have money to do things. So now that I'm awake, can't sleep, and I have money to do something, I want something to do.
Unfortunate. Let's see, Kels. I randomly went through Golden, Colorado one day, and they were having a mac and cheese cook-off. Best random world event ever happened to me. That's cool. Those fests are always fun, but they're expensive as shit. I find sometimes.
Yeah.
Like they had a wine festival here, taco festivals, but it's like always like $20 to get in. You get like one, and you're like, oh, okay, everything else is expensive. My favorite thing that ever happened to me randomly was on my trip. I was in Boston. It was me and Goody, David. I was talking to Goody. We were hanging out, getting some drinks, and he was like, "You wanna get a cannoli?" I was like, "Yeah, why not?" He's like, "All right, cool." So we're walking, and then he was like, "Let's take the scenic route. You want to go walk by like MIT?" I was like, "Yeah, sure, why not?" So we walked around there. We went around this weird place, and I saw like in his bookshop this giant poster for an author I follow. I was like, oh, I guess his new book came out. Let me go look at that real quick. So I walked over, and they were like, hey, he's here signing things right now. I was like, oh shit. So I hustled my way in there. It's Joe Hill, actually, Stephen King's son. So I hopped in there. I was like, yeah, fuck yeah. So I got the book and got him to sign it. And as he's signing, I'm like, hey, I really liked your Twitter short story he wrote because he wrote the short story on this anthology of just like a Twitter real time horror movie or horror thing going on. He was like, oh shit, that's a deep cut. And I was like, hell yeah, rolling up there with deep cuts last second. Let's go. I love when you just travel and just something random happens there. It's cool.
True.
He did write Black Phone, yes. People were parked the entire road length of Arcadia. That sounds. I just even vaguely know that sounds right. How I think Pete's tour happens next year, so we'll see what happens. David,
Yo.
if you get to travel anywhere internationally, where would you be traveling?
I mean, I always have wanted to go to Japan.
I know. I went out with a friend and we were talking, and they're going to the Philippines tomorrow, and I'm like,
Ooh,
I was like,
too.
right. And I think I'm kind of conflicted because like the reason why I went on pizza tour was like I was like, yeah, this is or my own pizza tour, I should say. I was like, yeah, you need to go see the states. And granted, I still need to see the west side of the western half of it. It's more gorgeous, I know, like that, but I'm a city kid. So, but I'm like, I need to do international. I think now is my time. I'm free of massive obligations. I can save up for a year. Let's see. And I'm like thinking internationally. I'm like, do I want to do this like solo, or do I want to like see if we get some friends and go do some dumb shit? But like, you were gonna like not want to do my level of dumb though. That's the thing. Is your level of dumb is not nearly, unless the only time I was gonna say this is the only place I feel like we merge is like what do they call it? What's that German festival?
Oktoberfest?
Yeah, I feel like that's like the only time that we would see. I feel like that's our only line that we line up in is like I would do the shut up Oktoberfest.
Well, because here's the three places that I want to go to the most. Is I definitely want to do Japan.
Sure.
I want to do Ireland.
That'd be fun.
And I want to do Iceland.
Yeah, I almost went to Ireland for a school thing way back in my undergrad. They had like a 2-week thing where you could have gone there, and I was like, I almost went to it, but I'm like, it was a little pricey. And then Japan would probably be my honeymoon thing. I'm sure if I ever did that, I was like, I'd probably just want to spend like a week or two out there. Oktoberfest though, I feel like we would both fuck with that. I think that's our.
I'm down for that.
Yeah, you know what? When's that happen? Like genuinely, like date wise.
I think that happens in like the fall.
Let's see when it happens usually. Here.
While you're looking that up, Kel's in the chat. Japan for me too. I'm saving for the next year or 2025. I got family in Okinawa that hasn't met the American side of the family I need to meet.
That's cool.
Fucking cool.
That's cool. Killing the Dead Air, Oktoberfest. Starts September 16th, ends October 3rd this year.
All right. So like end of summer, beginning of fall.
I am totally willing to just like do a low key kind of trip this next summer, and just save some money and do Oktoberfest next year. That
would be fucking sweet.
Live blue rupees from Oktoberfest would be the greatest thing I've ever heard of in my entire life.
That'd be both the greatest and the worst.
You know what? Let's put a pin on that. I'm not against that whatsoever.
We'll have to see how world politics is looking at that point.
Or I mean, the worse off it is, the more likely I am to do it because we're probably gonna die soon.
I mean, fair.
That I would do that because I've been thinking about Oktoberfest too. I'm like, that sounds, and that I'm getting to an age where I'm starting to like little by little. I don't want to do that because I'm like, I think I'm getting too old for a certain point. But like, we're still there. Like I would like to be an idiot. Now I don't want to be a dumbass tourist though too. So I gotta kind of watch.
Yeah, you don't want to be an American tourist.
No,
really.
but I'm going hard. I'm gonna find some locals and we're doing it up with them.
Hell yeah.
Oktoberfest and the games gone by is Wolfenstein. Honestly though, I could schedule it out. Like we could just schedule an upload. That's not totally out of the realm of possibility. That'd be hilarious.
We gotta do it live. Fuck it.
Get a local that really likes Wolfenstein.
That's right.
Yeah, that's how we're gonna get arrested. just talk about terrible thing because you're not allowed to talk about like that, like right? They're like very
there is strict laws on that.
yeah. It's not like in a way to like to muddy it up, but there's like that ashamed of it that they're just like you do not bring that shit up.
Well, that and because they just genuinely don't want to repeat. They realize maybe we don't have tolerance for this kind of shit.
Yeah, so I don't know. I'm down for us to like schedule it out. That'd be hilarious.
And yet, weirdly, here we are in America where it's like we get so fucking rock hard about goddamn freedom of speech. So it's like, yeah, hatred's okay. Everyone has a right to be hateful.
Yeah, free speech except for that flag. Fuck you.
Yeah. The bright colors scare me. You get rid of those.
Genuinely, then I'm not trying to be political either, but like that just astounds me. The logic astounds me. It's like, all right, you're cool with open speech, but like that's an issue.
Yeah.
Got it. Yeah. David, what you been playing this week?
Oh yeah. Well, I've of course been playing more fucking Street Fighter.
Yeah, we've been going in. Let me check my Steam time. My Steam time has 56 hours on it so far.
I was gonna say, yeah, you're definitely further along than I am, but I got 25 hours still on mine.
I've been grinding it out. I've been just frustratingly just doing my best to fucking get here because I'm like, I see the growth in it and I see it there, but like I just get. There was a good match yesterday where I played a Cammy Ditto, and the Cammy rocked my shit with combos. Just like every opening was like boom, 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 and a spiral arrow, can spike into this, into that, into this, but I won because I played it safe and just like punished where I could, which is frustrating. Here's my thing is if you ever want to see someone get salty over modern controls, come to my stream. Do I genuinely care? No, it's good. But like I will talk the shit I want to because I just need to talk my shit. Here's the frustration I have though, genuinely, is it's hard for me to rank up. And this is the logic, just follow this logic. It's hard for me to figure out where I'm landing at because I'm losing to built-in combos that don't have their neutral game down. So I am getting farther in neutral, but then like my combo game is not getting there because like it can only, I'm losing to other combos because they're pulling it off more consistently, but their neutral sucks.
Yeah.
So I'm at a weird spot right now where I have a good neutral game. Like my neutral game is not bad. Like I can understand what's going on in neutral, but I can't successfully punish that well yet. I'm getting there. From this week to last week, I'm able to more consistently do it for sure. But like my consistency in combos is not working out, and I feel like ranked is becoming a hindrance in a way because it's just like it's either I'm playing someone with a good neutral that like I am, or I'm playing a modern control that has combo flow down, and I'm not getting practice consistently on either end. I feel like it's like I'm only having to survive off fundamentals, and eventually it's gonna bite me in the ass because I'm not learning my combos because I'm not allowed to compared to a modern player pulling off their combos successfully.
Yeah.
So it's a weird thing that I'm going through. Really quick, just to sidetrack, I want to finish it up. Cygnus said, did a road trip from Asheville to Anchorage. That's fucking nuts.
That's wild.
Asheville is super cool though. I was there during my road trip back in like 2018, and we went on that mountain. It's like the second darkest spot in the whole country. Super cool though. But yeah, so I've been grinding that out. I'm currently a silver 2-star, so worked my way out of iron for sure. I've been playing David some more, and we just have an issue with our connection. It kind of sucks, but like we definitely have a little more lag than usual than we should.
Yeah, especially where I now officially have my 2 gig symmetrical fiber. There's definitely no reason we should be having issues.
Yeah, and we've had it to a point where like I turned off everything that I had, but it's just not working.
Yeah.
So it is what it is. We're still gonna play a bit for sure though. But David's still rocking my shit. But like occasionally I'll get little bouts of like I'll get little bouts of success here or there because I'm slowly getting it. Like once I get the combos down, my combos aren't working. I'm trying to. My brain's not computing, and it was cool having Kelson because we're both Tekken people trying to fucking figure our way out through this.
Yeah.
Like the combo trial. I need to watch you do Cammy's combo trials do the beginning ones to show me what I'm doing, because my inputs are either too slow or too fast. I'm not getting it to line up. I'm either getting hit by this buffer or I'm too late. I cannot find this sweet spot. I'm literally on the last beginning combo trial for Cammy. I know I had to cancel my animation for the 7th one, which was interesting to me because I didn't know like you just rolled the stick from where you were at. I get that now, but like it's weird. And I feel like maybe I'm ignorant to this, but Street Fighter combos mean the second you have a hit, you just do your full combo like as if it's programmed and burned into your brain.
Yes.
Tekken, you do your combos and you flow with the gravity.
Yeah.
That's what's throwing me off. Is I want to flow with my combos. I see the body flying in here. I'm like, all right, let me pause for like a split second. No, you don't pause. You do your combo the exact same format and the exact same time each way. Whereas like it's Tekken is like punch in the air, wait, pop, all right, wait a second, pop this combo, all right, wait, boom. It's like you kind of like let it flow by gravity. Whereas Street Fighter, you're just like, you just go. As soon as you get your hit, you combo the fuck out of it.
Yeah.
And that's weird to me because I gotta program the combos into my brain, right? Like it's like, all right, now I went over this first step of learning how to input. Now I gotta figure out the succession of all these combos in my brain. Which it's cool, and like the camis that I see that pull off the combos, I'm like, Jesus Christ, like you can go in for like a long, you can knock out like half your health bar with like just one solid combo that you just don't drop, which means get that consistency down.
Yeah.
World Tour.
On that note,
No, go for it. You're good. You're good. No, you're good.
I was playing some more. I still haven't dipped my toes into rank because I'm still trying to compete against more of the cast before I hop into ranked. Because all the newcomers, I'm still trying to kind of figure out really how they work. Manon, I have a firm grasp on. Marissa, I have a firm grasp on. Jamie, I thought I had a good grasp on until I played a really fucking good Jamie in the Battle Hub the other night. It's insane the pressure game Jamie has, because if you effectively use the drive dash cancel, it's infinite pressure until you're basically out of gauge. There is no gaps in that pressure.
No.
It's fucking heinous.
There's some ridiculous true combos in this game where if you're fucking around with the dash or the drive, just like extend it even longer. And yeah, no, that there was one Jamie that fucked my shit up doing that. But again, I won that one too. I remember specifically because I won that one too. But again, it was like if I got hit, half my health is gone.
Yeah.
So it was like, all right, I'm allowed like 1 or 2 hits the entire match, and I got to play the most safe neutral ever, and I'll win. But again, that's the hard part. Is like, I just don't know where I'm landing at, because I feel like newcomers are really just lab rats, which is kind of funny. Like I don't coach that way. I tell my players all the time, like, I'm not coaching you in the lab. We'll learn some stuff, sure, but like I'm teaching you neutral. Fundamentals will always get you the farthest in any fighting game before any combos do. You can do the greatest combo ever. All it takes is for a person to know how to not let you combo that, and you lose. So I'm super strict fundamentals right now. Now to take a step up from that is now you need fundamentals and combo. But right now it's just these lab rats, which really just extend the shit out of those combos, and it's like you put your fucking fight stick down for like 15 seconds, and you're like, all right, whatever you're gonna do, just go ahead and do it.
Which is wild for Street Fighter, because I feel like Street Fighter has always been more just shorter but like harder hitting combos.
Tekken is the one where you go forever.
Yeah, you go forever in Tekken. If you're a real masochist, you go literally infinitely in Marvel. But yeah, Street Fighter has always been shorter. This is the first one where I feel like you have almost Tekken level combos to your characters.
Which is why I'm like, I'm just trying my hardest to get these combos. I'm gonna finish World Tour. I'm gonna play a little more ranked to see where I'm plateauing at, because I still am grinding. I was stuck at like bottom silver 1 star, and then I had like a 6 win streak, which if you have win streaks in that ranked mode, it climbs the fuck out of you. Like if you win, like lose win, you're getting 50 points per. I had like 6 win streak and I was getting like 300 points. Like it boots it
Holy
it,
hell.
it really rewards win streaks because that's that's a good way for you to like figure things out. So I want to see where I plateau before I just start like, all right, now I need to learn combos because I'll be in the training room in between, but the games kind of rapidly fire enough that I don't get time to really practice them. But yeah, I've been wanting to mess around with other characters, but Cammy feels so good, and I just want to learn my combos because I feel like, for the most part, I've noticed, David, inputs aren't too drastically different from each other.
No.
Like
There's a lot of carryover between characters.
which it never really dawned on me that was the thing. Some of them are a little weird. Like you got like a full circle for some of them, half circle for some, quarters, circles. I played Dalsim for the first time ever in my entire life. Right, I didn't play him. I have some of his moves, so I didn't know it was like, all right, just push all 3 buttons at once. Like that's new to me. So it's like I'm learning all these things separately. But I think the plan is finish up World Tour because I want to get that done tonight. I might even stream it after this. I want to get done with the World Tour tonight so I can knock it off the list before I'm out of here on my flight. And then when I come back, it is strictly Lab Rat ranked. And then maybe even time I'll go get the costumes, the colors from other games or the other characters. But for now, Cammy's all I need. So grind that out and get on that because I genuinely believe once I get like one character down, that's the cool thing, right? Am I wrong? Or once you get one character down in these kind of games, you can convert pretty easily to other characters. Smash, I do not believe that whatsoever. There's some characters that's so drastically different from one another because the moves have the same input, but like it's so much gravity based and knockback based and guarding and what you can do, projectiles. Like there's so much uniqueness behind a lot of the characters in there versus in here. It's a smaller cast and a lot of rollover with moves.
Yeah, once you get used to like an archetype of a character, you can pretty much play any other archetype of that character.
And I feel like, but there's Smash has 70 some characters, right? And I mentioned this on my stream. I was like, I would be flabbergasted if I started Smash tomorrow because you have to learn 74 different characters and their styles.
Yeah.
And their movesets and their kill moves and their throws and all this. Street Fighter, how many characters are there right now?
20-ish.
And you'll see all of them. So I've seen all of them, and I've started to program my brain what to do. I see Marissa, I see Geef, and I'm like, all right, we're zoning. Like I'm poke. It's a poke game until I see you flub, and then it's like massive pressure. If it's like a Cammy Ditto, it's like, all right, it's once again, it's like, all right, the Cammy wants to combo me, so let them or capitalize on the punish and just combo them back. Yeah. It is like I'm starting to get the archetypes of each character, but like there's not an extreme varied type, right? Like a lot of characters
No.
You can grasp all of them like within a feasible amount of time, and because of that, I feel like people can transition to like, if I stopped right now and said, all right, I'm dropping Cammy, and if I picked up even like a Shoto, I could probably do it just fine.
Yeah.
I've seen it just fine, right? I've seen it happen. I know what to do. It's easier to comprehend all that knowledge. Smash is different because of just how crazy variety it is, right? Like it's so wide spectrum and everything that it's hard to understand concept, but it's easy for me to come from Smash into this because that's exactly what I was doing, right?
Yeah.
Kel said Jury and DJ both give me Tekken vibes with their combos.
I can see that with Jury.
How you liking Jury now that you got more time with her?
I think I am probably going to stick to maining Ken, unfortunately. The main thing that still irks me with Jury, and I mentioned it last week, is I still hate that she needs to have a stock to get access to her Fireball and her other moves. At least it's not as bad as Street Fighter V. Street Fighter V had one stock per move type, so you could stock one Fireball, one sweep, one overhead. Whereas this, you can stock up a generic stockpile that can be used for any of the 3. But it's still... It kills a lot of the flow of the character still for me. Like, her Street Fighter 4 introduction is still my favorite version of her to play. But it's a lot better. But in terms of consistency, and again, it probably is just because I played Ken since Street Fighter 2, but I can pretty much just walk into any match with Ken and have a rough idea of what my game plan is going to be still.
Do you think you're gonna actively main Ken, or are you saying you're gonna play Ken until you figure out what other character is actually the one you want to play as?
I'll probably actively main Ken. And then Jury will be a pocket.
Until Akuma.
I don't like playing Akuma usually.
That's fair. I don't know. I feel like Manon is one that I kind of like because I'm just really good at grappling. I realized like I'm really good just punishing and just grabbing.
Yeah.
And I play Cammy a lot like a grappler. So it's like maybe I should just pick a grappler, but I like the speed behind it too. Being able to duck in and out how I need to is nice.
Yeah. Now it's Rashid might be one you might have a lot of fun with because he has a lot of the similar vibes to Cammy, except he's faster and has a projectile.
If I could figure out my way around projectile games a little more, I think I'm fine. I genuinely like where I'm at, and I feel like the ceiling for Cammy is really nice right now.
Yeah.
Like it's an easy character to go into, but like when I play a Cammy that's good and they just fuck my shit up with this long ass combo, I'm like, ooh, one day, dude. If I can nail that shit, let's go.
No, I get that. It's weird because I've been watching some footage from Street Fighter Gods play, like Takedo and Daigo and stuff like that. And Daigo pulled out a fucking Ken combo out of his ass that was like a 50% combo, and it was basically 4 moves. And the timing on that is insane because it's basically just chaining like 3 different EXs and then another move at the end of it. But the positioning is so wild. I'll have to send the clip to you because there's so much weird delay that he puts into doing each part of the combo that there's no way he didn't spend so much time labbing that weird scenario for it. But it's wild that there is stuff like that where it's simple when you just lay it out because, again, it's 4 moves that lead to 50% damage. But it's such weirdly precise timing and situational awareness.
I see. I like that one. That one like mess with me because I'm like, you earned it. Like, that was an earned combo. You know what, this game would, every fighting game would do so well with that Street Fighter or the Tekken slowdown.
Yes, 100%.
There's been so many like last hits. I actually had a double KO land on a game 3 yesterday.
Truly, we need more games that just fucking steal that idea.
Yeah, Smash kind of stole it. I'm like, yeah, that's fine. Dude, do that.
Fuck, I gotta pee again.
Jesus H. Christ, David. Let's see. I'm looking, by the way, if you didn't know, Target's doing the buy 2 get 1. There are some pre-orders. Some of the pre-orders include Dead Cells Castlevania. In case you're interested in that, go do that. I'll often use these things to like get a bunch of the games I've been wanting to. You buy 3 and then you cancel 2. Target always allows it. So if they allow it, do it. I knocked out a bunch of my board game stuff. So actually, I bought a good chunk of board games. But I digress. Oop. I just saw... What did I see? Nope, it's nowhere. Let's see. Is there an unannounced second fighter you're hoping that makes it in? Gone. Bring him back. We need Gone back. Why not? Dr. B. Fuck it. Gone and Dr. B. Let's do it. No, I don't know. I'm kind of just cool with them, like whatever. I think a lot of them, as long as they look cool when they do this stuff, then that's fine with me. I just don't want them to overly break the game, which DLC tends to do, which is unfortunate. Welcome back, David. Kel's asked, is there an unannounced Tekken fighter you're hoping makes it in?
Roger Jr. or Alex, 100%.
I said Gone.
I mean, that will never happen because that's a guest character, but It's wild that we didn't get some kind of alternative boxing character like Alex or Roger in Tekken 7.
Let's see. Yoshimitsu has been announced. So we make a fun if he gets cut. Kells did say in all caps, Roger.
Hell yeah.
Let's see. All right. Anything else you've been playing, David? Unless you want to talk more about Street Fighter.
No, that's all I've really had time for is just Street Fighter.
How you liking the World Tour mode?
I'm really digging it. It's one of those things that like it feels like the proper succession to like what the story mode was in Mortal Kombat Deception. This is what I feel a fighting game story mode should be. Is like the true ultimate single player. Here's the chance to just fuck around, explore the world of the lore and everything that you're kind of getting invested in, and a chance to just kind of fuck around with weird things that you wouldn't be able to normally do otherwise. That's 100% what it should be, and it's wonderful to go through.
Yeah. It's cool that we get something so expansive, right? It's cool to like walk around and do all that stuff. It's fun because it's a Yakuza style like vibe too. So getting to explore that. I've been addicted to it, but not really like. I'm not like holy shit, this is the greatest thing I've ever played. But I'm enjoying my time, that's all I really care about. As long as I'm enjoying my time, that's fine. And it's really all right. More stuff. Kel said,
I just.
What?
Oh, go ahead.
No, you're good.
No, you go ahead first.
Okay, Kel said, I love how weird Street Fighter is going to get. I agree.
Agreed. And I just sent the link in the chat at the exact time code. It's literally 4 hits off of a counter drive impact. And it's fucking 50% damage. Wildest goddamn thing.
Wow. All right. Hold up. Okay, so heavy. Tatsu. Yeah, because he waits for the bounce on that too.
Yeah.
God, I need to watch some more Cammy plays. But yeah, World Tour is super fun. I'm digging that. I need to play a regular arcade mode soon, but yeah.
I did a little bit of regular arcade mode. I went through it with Yuri, and it's kind of frustrating because this is one complaint I do have in terms of the storytelling of Street Fighter 6 is while World Tour gives you the perspective of what's going on in Street Fighter through the lens of your original character, there's still a fuck ton of details kind of missing, and it's the arcade mode that fills it in. But if what I'm reading is correct, I guess you actually have to beat the arcade mode like 3 times to get the full story of your character. So that's got to be something that is a little infuriating, is to have to go through arcade mode 3 times. You can play it on like easiest difficulty, shortest rounds if you want, and still get the story that way if you're just grinding story. But I do think it's a little ridiculous to have to do it that way.
Yeah. Hey, for funsies, before we leave Street Fighter 6 talk, do you want to hear some of the excuses DSP is having while he's getting his ass handed to him?
Always.
Let's see really quick. What's David's opinions on the additional announced fighters?
I mean, we've known about them since even before this game was announced. They were all characters that were part of the Street Fighter leak when the game was first leaked. So
How do you feel about them, though?
I have no strong opinion.
Fair. Let's see. Where are we finding? I want to find some good comments here. Let me find the actual ones because he has a lot of different stuff he's saying.
Yeah, while you're pulling that up, that is the second thing that is genuinely a complaint with me with Street Fighter 6. I said this before the game launched, and it's still true. I do find it a little infuriating that we finally, after all these years, have a game set after Street Fighter 3, and we have no fucking Street Fighter 3 representation. Especially where at the end of Street Fighter V's lifespan, we got a couple Street Fighter 3 characters. Because we had like a 12, not 12 himself, but I think it was called like 11 that was kind of in there. We had Alex as a DLC character. And of course, we had Gil show up in there, and Urian. I think it's kind of weird that for a game set after 3, that one, we don't have Alex, especially where Alex was meant to be the next generation leader of the storyline. And also just like other really unique and interesting characters from 3. Where the fuck is Dudley? Dudley is my man. I have loved Dudley ever since Street Fighter 3. And it's fucking wild that he's fucking not here, especially considering how well he was received in Street Fighter 4. To still not see him return at all is infuriating. And also, again, just kind of like any of the new generational characters. It's weird we didn't get Remy to actually finally replace Guile. It's weird that we didn't really get any follow-up on Elena. Elena's mentioned in the storyline, if you follow along with what's going on with Lily, but we didn't get any follow-up on her at all. I don't know. It's just... It's infuriating that we didn't really get much Street Fighter 3, or rather any Street Fighter 3 representation in this game.
So I'm looking at this because I didn't really think about the chronology of Street Fighter. The story isn't as wacko mode as Tekken, so I just never really followed through with it.
Yeah.
So I didn't know Street Fighter 3 was so ahead of everything.
Yes. Yeah, because canonically it goes Street Fighter 1, or it goes Street Fighter Alpha.
No, 1 first.
Then 1, no, Alpha, then 1, then 2.
Everyone's saying 1, then Alpha.
No, because that was before Sagat got a scar.
Let me see. Sagat, a master of Muay Thai, fights Ryu to see who's the best fighter in the world in a tournament. Our protagonist Ryu wins the battle, leaving Sagat with a prominent scar on his chest. In the first one.
Street Fighter Alpha takes place before that.
It says Alpha, Sagat is back and ready to take revenge on the man who defeated him. However, Alpha prevents many more relevant characters than the original Street Fighter, including M. Bison.
I could have sworn that was before. All right, that's fair. So we get Alpha, we get 1, then Alpha, then 2, then 4, then 5, then 3.
Oh, you're excluding the other Alpha games, right?
I'm counting all the Alphas together.
Okay, so then Alpha, you said 2, then 4, then 5,
4, then 5, then 3,
then 6,
and now 6.
Interesting. All right, and so has it always been like since 3? You guys have been just like waiting for the something beyond that?
Yes, because the whole thing of 3 was it was meant to be the new generation, like the actual evolution of the series. Capcom has been very reticent on those characters because technically at launch, Street Fighter 3 fucking flopped.
How?
Even though nowadays it's regarded as like the best fighting game of all time.
How did it flop though?
No one gave a shit. It dared to be new. It dared to reinvent a lot of things, and it dared to have a whole new cast of characters. Originally, Ryu wasn't even going to be in it until they pushed to still throw him in there. It's kind of like how Mortal Kombat 3 was insanely lambasted at launch because it didn't have so many series staples, and that's why Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3 was far more revered by a lot of community members because it brought back a lot of those classics. And that's kind of the fate that unfortunately 3 ran into. It's just weird that over Street Fighter 4's lifespan with Street Fighter 4 Arcade Edition and Super and Ultra, that we got a lot of Street Fighter 3 casts. We got Dudley back in that. We got Elena back in that. Yun and Yang we got back in that. And then, like I said, with Street Fighter 5, we got Gil, we got Urian, we got 11, which was reference to the character 12. We got all these other 3 aligned characters. and Alex. And again, here we are now, finally in the first game after all these years, set after 3, and we have no representation from 3, but we have all of the fucking World Warriors in there. Like,
so, and then so essentially every character from 3 has had prequel stories from here.
Yeah.
Interesting. How's that? Has the narrative stuck with it, or is it now just like wonky? And you're like, yeah, I guess they retcon a lot. Should just add this character in.
I mean, it's the thing is that they've made it all up as they go, so I mean, it fits as well as you can guess, really. And not to say that even 3 had like amazing stories. Literally, Dudley's whole story is someone fucking steals his car, and so he just goes to beat up some motherfuckers. That's it. That's his whole story in Street Fighter 3. Someone stole his car, so like, fuck it. I'm gonna beat someone with my proper English boxing style, so that's what we do now. But at the same time, again, it's just fucking wild to me that again, what was supposed to be, and Sean, that's the other thing too. This is what baffles me the most, is like, Sean was literally Ken's disciple. Sean was who Ken was training to be his replacement. And we got Sean's sister in Street Fighter V, and he was mentioned in her storyline, Laura, but we still don't have Sean. Like, of all characters, like, I would have expected Alex again, because he was meant to be Ryu's replacement. Fine, whatever. Luke is now the face of Street Fighter. Whatever, fine. We're gonna have Luke instead of Ryu going forward. That's fine. But why bother in Street Fighter V having Sean's sister and then have a lot of her story allude to Sean kind of going ahead and growing up and going to train under Ken, and then suddenly do this weird storyline where Ken is a homeless motherfucker because of shady politics and government shenanigans going on, and suddenly just kind of not acknowledge Sean at all. Like, I haven't finished World Tour, but suddenly it's like Capcom fucking forgot Sean existed, which is wild to me.
You think? Well, DLC doesn't really have a. Does DLC ever play a part in the stories?
They get their own additional story as the way that Street Fighter V handled it, but it's not like it's a whole new story mode. It's just usually like, here's a little bit of an arcade bit for them.
Let's see. Oh, he's I guess he's in the Laura's character story. Let's see. Street Fighter 5 Arcade Edition. Sean is seen in Laura's Street Fighter 3 Route Arcade ending.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Because again, Laura's his sister, so I mean that was kind of the whole thing, is they make mention to it.
So wait,
Makoto too. They brought Makoto back for fucking Street Fighter V, and she also is nowhere to be found in this, which is still also weird.
So wait, you said you haven't heard anything about him in World Tour?
Yeah.
There's
again, I haven't finished it, but
yeah, I'll say there's like a passing mention.
That's dumb.
I don't know what that means, because I mean I've already seen this already, but I don't know what's going on. So I'm like, all right, whatever. I just watched later to an hour-long video giving the complete story of that. So I'll check it out. Really quick. So just to go back really quick, DSP. Yeah. I'll just preface what I know from the top of my head rather than dig through specific quotes. Let's see. He's a variety streamer, therefore he doesn't have enough time to practice like everyone else does. He's getting older, so therefore he can't get his combos in.
Okay.
He is not being allowed to play with novice players to learn his combos. Bear in mind, at the beginning, when you enter a ranked match for the first time, it asks you, hey, where do you think you rank yourself within this? And he put himself in the pro part, because he's fourth place at Evo 35 years ago. But he put himself in the thing, not reading it, not realizing that he's picking himself for rank. So now he's stuck in platinum. And because he has fundamentals, he can play all right, but he gets his ass kicked a lot too. He's gotten perfected a pretty good chunk of times. He's getting frustration because he can't play new characters because he gets his ass kicked more, and he doesn't realize why he's getting match made with platinum because he actively chose that. And then now he's saying that everyone is playing too try hard for him. Phil, you're playing in ranked mode.
What the fuck?
He's saying that he's losing because because kids nowadays, they just go in and lab and watch a bunch of videos. Back in the day, everyone would just it'd be a game you could play for fun, and you learn how to play the game over time.
No.
and it's the fuckery that his mind has to hop to realize he's just not fantastic anymore at all.
He's
like
never
not
been good.
He was all right at that one version of Street Fighter. Congratulations.
No, he fucking
Yeah, and
and
and he also went while all the actual good players were not giving a shit. He is coping mad hard every stream though, and he's getting frustrated because he knows he can't keep up. There's literally no way for him to keep up because of what he always talks about, like, I'm a variety streamer, I can do this. I don't want to pigeon my whole way into my. He talks like he pops himself up, in which let's see. He he hypes up these parts of him, but then you realize that he talks down about himself too, that the usual DSP stuff. But it's hilarious. That was my favorite one though. Is ranked mode is too try hard to enjoy. I don't know what you want people to do, Phil. People that just like, oh, I'm gonna take it easy for you on a fucking ranked mode, dude. Like, what if you want to go play like whatever? Go to a random server, hide your screen for a second, go to a random server, sit down in a fucking play thing. That's fine. Do that. But he also, you'll love this. He didn't know he could turn off the internet from his console without just having to unplug it straight up.
I don't even have anything to say on that.
He didn't know you could refresh your capture card without restarting your entire stream. Both of these he learned this last week.
This is what he does for a living. Air quotes.
Woo! Actually wild. The internet thing just blew my fucking mind. I'm like, how the fuck do you just not know you could turn your internet off? Whatever. Anyway, David, you play anything else?
No, that's all I've had time for.
I've been dabbling a little more in Tears of the Kingdom. Shoutouts, I'm finally off the fucking first area. I'm back down in Hyrule proper, so I'm actually starting the game now, which is nice. I think the instructions were very vague in Tears of the Kingdom in the beginning, because it kept saying like, all right, go to this area, but I didn't know you had to actually like fast travel to an area nearby to get to that area, because I'm standing on the area, I'm like, where the fuck am I supposed to be at? That's why. So I'm in there now. I'm playing a little bit of that. Overwatch still happening. I got Dead Island 2. Been playing a little bit of that. Played about like an hour and a half on the stream a few weeks back. I just had a really big itch to play that. It's really good so far. I'm gonna get back to it as soon as I'm done with World Tour. I'll probably come back when I'm back from my trip. I'll probably go through a couple streams playing Dead Island, trying to grind that out. Great opening so far though. I love it. I think that's it. All right, David. Let's talk about all these games that just happened this bit.
Hell yeah. Do we even really care, honestly, about breaking it down by show, or do we just want to highlight?
No, I think let's highlight it. I don't really give a shit to do. I never really cared about doing breakdowns, because I think you just, again, do a disservice to, I'm sure, otherwise like a good game, but I just don't want to breeze past games I just don't give a shit about.
Yeah.
So let's. I say that as I about to do this. Capcom's. What do you think of it, real quick? I feel like you didn't give a shit about it.
Not really. I was excited that our Blue Rupees magic worked again, for games gone by, that is, rather. And we got exactly what we were just talking about not that long ago.
Literally, I think when we were talking about this is, man, we really need to apologize. Miles Edgeworth now. Capcom, we're almost done. Listen, you're almost there. Miles Edgeworth, and we're done. Like, that's it. You guys did it. That's fine. We're all good. That's all you gotta do. We'll see if it happens. Exoprimal, I was talking to Kels about this. Listen, do not advertise the battle pass for a game that's not proven and is really like getting, I think, just low fanfare. What's like, it's just wildly bizarre to me when only very, 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 very little amount of games can get away with doing the whole, all right, you're gonna get this game and here's everything you got afterwards, because you're gonna spend a lot of time with that, right? Like my example,
Yeah, it's
I think,
corporate tone deafness.
right? Like the only game I can think is like they can do that is like if Destiny 3 came out and it showed it and it said, all right, here's year 1 of Destiny 3. Cool, I get it, because your people are gonna know they're gonna spend the time on that. No one is really giving a shit about Exoprimal right now, so you gotta sell people to play it. But doing the whole like, do this and hey, purchase this and get all, and I'm like, no, I'm not going to. If I like the game, sure, don't tell me to do that right now, because it's like you haven't proven anything to me. It's weird. It's genuinely just really bizarre, weird marketing.
You know what I really wish? Capcom sits on so many fucking IPs.
A lot of these companies do, dude. We're gonna talk about that with Microsoft in a second.
But like, especially Capcom, like I'm just thinking back to like when Exoprimal was first shown off, and we got swerved because we are thinking they were finally doing something with Dino Crisis. But
Sure.
it's just fucking wild to me because they have Dino Crisis, they haven't done anything with since the original.
They have a dinosaur
Xbox.
game right there, and they're popping. Hey, guess what company's popping off with that horror stuff right now?
Yeah. They have the Breath of Fire series, which they haven't done anything with since the GBA. And honestly, if they wanted to go ahead and just bring back something, because like Square Enix weirdly has been hitting it out of the park with a lot of obscure or more obscure shit in their library, between bringing back Live Alive and bringing new life into Front Mission. Fucking Capcom has another whole RPG series that was only ever on the Dreamcast called El Dorado. It was 7 games for the Dreamcast. Just the weird Japanese exclusive fucking RPG series. They could fucking just go ahead and combine all that into a fucking game. Be like, hey, weird, obscure fans of obscure RPGs, here you go. Like, there's so much they could fucking do, but they just don't, and it's infuriating. And then we also got, like, what was it, Pragmata, just for them to be like, oh, by the way, that's actually going to be a while before we get that, so don't think too hard on that one.
Yeah, big rip, but at least it's not vaporware, which is good. That's good, I guess. Yeah. Capcom kind of dropped the ball there, which is unfortunate because they've been killing the game. Hopefully that bounces back. Xbox, David.
Xbox had some absolute bangers, although I feel like I wasn't as into the show as so many other people were. Like, for considering going into it, they're like, oh, we're going to have a lot of in-game shit. I don't feel like I really left that feel like I feel like I understood how even half the games are going to really play as games.
I agree. Should have kept your mouth shut about that, because I was genuinely expecting gameplay. I get that they want to do the whole, like, is there a difference between CG trailer and in-engine? Sure, but like that's not what we mean. Like, the CG trailer alongside an in-game in-engine trailer means the same shit to me. I want to see gameplay. So I agree with that. I think the Xbox show was really good, but the ending just petered out because of Starfield.
It was such, one, because of Starfield, and two, the
Oh, David, you muted yourself.
Did I?
Oh, you're good now. That was weird.
Yeah, that was weird. But especially, and also because of the announcement that preceded it. So real quick, like strong start, I feel. Again, what I was kind of hoping for. Let's remind people of some shit we have in the works. it wasn't like a full showcase like I was hoping for. But we got to see at least another trailer for Fable. The fiance was really excited for that. I showed that to her, and that's one of her favorite actors too, so she was excited.
Nice.
But it's kind of one of those things where, again, like, you've shown off a lot of fairy tale aspects, so I feel like I'm getting the idea of like the mood and tone you're setting for the next Fable, but I still don't know what the next Fable is. So a little concerned still about that. But I'll let them cook. I'll let them cook. And then I did call it. I went back and I said, I'm less certain about it, but I'm going to say it anyways, is my exact words I used.
Didn't I say that after I mentioned it, though?
No, because what I said was, this is what I think. I think less of it now because of what I just saw.
Okay. But either way, you got the point for it because it was more. What I had written down was more Atlas shit, which you win because they had more Atlas shit. It wasn't just
I specifically said more Atlas shit and that we were getting those things.
Do you want 2 points for 1 point? No, you get the full point. I give you the full point.
No, because I said there were two separate things. I said we were gonna get Persona 3, which we got Persona 3, and I said we would get other
Sure,
Atlas
I gave you the full
things.
point for that.
No, there were two separate guesses.
You had 6 guesses?
No, because it was the Atlas thing, it was the Persona 3, it was a showcase of older stuff, it was Elder Scrolls ending it.
No, so here's your 5. Reminder showcase, more backward compatible games. Activision,
yeah, that was
Activision officially brought in.
Yeah.
Bigger push for indies, and then you had the more Atlas stuff.
So either way, I got that 1 point.
Yes, that's what I'm telling you.
Yeah, that's fair. But no, so this was immediately pissed on as soon as the conference was over. So we're getting Persona 3 Remastered, officially dubbed Persona 3 Reload.
Mm-hmm.
But it's the original version Persona 3?
So, which is bizarre. So let's break this down. This is gonna be a weird conversation.
Yeah.
It's original Persona 3. So I mean, even if you had this was on no one's bingo card. It was either FES or it was everything. That was like the two routes that everyone, not even people, no one said like they're doing portable. It was FES or everything. No one had base Persona 3. Here's what's going on that I would say. I think we're not getting Persona 6 for a while. I don't think
100%.
We're like not. This is Persona 6. Not. I think that's why we're getting like hardcore milk for Persona 5, and the Persona team right now is working on Metaphor. So what they're doing to tide us over until Persona 6, Persona 3 is now Persona 6 essentially, where it's like, here's our Persona game that we're playing, that we're loving, yada yada yada. They've mentioned it plenty of times. I saw this in the interviews. This is why I'm thinking of it. Is they're like Persona 3 right now is getting all the love and treatment that Persona 5 got when it was getting developed. We're doing it base. They said they're adding stuff in just for Persona 3. So what's gonna happen is, and this is what everyone knows, Persona 3 Reload, and then in about 2 years, Persona 3 Reload, whatever, it's gonna have another one, and then by the time that's out, Persona 6 will be around the corner for that.
I don't think they'll even do that. Genuinely, I think what will happen is, because even FES originally in Japan was a separate disc that you would get that would acted as an expansion essentially to the original base game. So I think genuinely what will happen is we'll get Persona 3 Reload, and then maybe 6 months later, tops, we'll get FES and female protagonist as DLC.
Why DLC and why 6 months after?
The reason why I say 6 months is because, one, the answer will just mostly be asset reusage, so it won't take them that long to get it crafted. It'll just be a matter of doing up the story in the new engine. And female MC will be what takes up the bulk of it, because that's essentially doing a whole nother story route in the original game. But the reason I say 6 months is because, again, it'll all effectively already be there. They just need to add on to what exists. And the reason I think it'll be DLC is just because of the fact that for SMT5, for Soul Hackers, and for what was the other one that came out recently? For Strikers, they all got DLC. None of them got enhanced versions for anything. And so the last one to get an enhanced version was Persona 5. So I think if they start to go that route where they really start to lean on the DLC aspect of things, and Nocturne, they didn't bother doing like a super version of Nocturne that had all the versions combined. Even actually PC, you had to piecemeal each version of it individually. I think that's the route that they're going to want to start to take, especially keeping in mind that they are being more serious about PC versions, where they can allow for, all right, we're just going to have the original game there, and now just here's your add-on content. And I think 6 months would be that sweet spot from when Persona 3 Reload goes gold to when they could push out the updated versions.
Okay, here's my rebuttal. SMT games, have they ever done this?
SMT...
Have they ever done like the royal version of an SMT game?
No.
Okay, so I think Persona has the set in stone way of doing it. It's sort of like Pokemon now. The idea of split version of Pokemon literally doesn't matter anymore, because it was built to like make you trade among your friends and do that. It doesn't.
Only technically been 3 Persona games that have had that.
But
so
it's the new,
series.
but the one that the side of the series that people know well beyond everything else, right? It's the Persona series right now. It's as much as you don't want to agree. Persona is known now currently in the 3, 4, 5 state. I think I'm gonna rebuttal and say that I think they're gonna do it again. I think they're gonna do the same thing again, but I think they're gonna space it out, not in terms of we're done, let's put it out. This is our tide over until Persona 6. This is what we're gonna deal with. This is like, if pretend Persona 6 is not a thing, this is Persona. This is our new Persona. It's gonna be our long lasting thing. We're gonna start bringing the fold of 3 back into it. You're gonna get like all your 3 shit again, and then we're gonna get Persona 6 after. Because Metaphor, when does Metaphor come out? Is that a next year thing to say that?
No, they didn't say a release date, I think.
Metaphor is what they're working on right now. Like they are actively working on that. So they probably have 6 like barely cooking in the back burner.
That's part of the reason why I disagree with you. I don't think they would put in the effort to release this just to go back and do a whole new re-release later on, if they still are then going to hop onto 6 right after. You know what I mean?
Wait. So repeat that again.
So Metaphor is the next big thing, because that's essentially Persona Medieval Edition.
Sure.
And then we have Persona 3, which is a ground up essentially remaster, but it's being, I'm going to presume it's in the same engine that Persona 5 is in.
Yeah.
So we're having that whole done from the ground up as well. But that is less work, because it's going to be a lot of reused assets from what they can salvage from the Personas already in 5, and then just putting in the new stuff that they have to here and there. But it's going to be one of those things that it doesn't make sense for them to go ahead and do that particular type of release where you later on do an enhanced version, a whole new one, when you can literally go ahead, have that release hit, space it a little bit, have fucking Metaphor hit, and then a little bit after Metaphor, here's your DLC that you can just purchase, add on to that, and then have all your focus be on 6. As opposed to spinning up a whole new marketing campaign, a whole new everything else, going into building up for a re-release again.
I think they just get away with it with Persona. Like it's Persona fans will just deal with it. Like, and we could bitch and moan about it, but I think that they're gonna deal with it because Persona fans are Persona fans.
I don't think they would, though. Genuinely, I don't think.
You think they wouldn't buy it? Like you were telling me right now, if they did that again right now.
Talking company wise, I don't think they would do it. Genuinely, I think
well, it's because the tone I'm getting from them, and this is why I say all this. The tone I'm getting from them is they're making Persona 3 like our Persona game. So let's see.
Right. Here's the thing: is this is Atlas. They do the bare minimum effort for a lot of fucking things. The bare minimum effort is if this is going to be our tide over persona, is literally here's FES, and then if you're lucky, you can have the answer back as DLC.
So it says what they've done, they basically remade from scratch. They said they have newly recorded voices, new scenes, new events, and new arranged music, which is more than the bare minimum, I would say. They said the base concept of recreating Persona stories that we want to keep the original. So the same level of Persona 5, basically. We have the newest graphics, we have the updated system, the new usability. We have the voice lines of both Japanese and English. We also have text available in 13 languages, yada, yada. They said, so you should have the experience similar to that of Persona 5. They don't say like Persona 5 Royal. And then maybe that's nitpicky, but like they're specifically just Persona 3. The only thing that I would say, the reason why I would say that, okay, we might not, is because it's already Persona 3 Reload, which makes me wonder, like, that seems like the Persona 3 Royal is Reload. But I would see if it was a Persona 3 and we just didn't say anything else about it, right? Because, I mean, you could probably get away with that. But I just get a feeling that since this is... Because I'm going to look one more time.
I think
you guys are
reading
early.
way too much into the statement.
I am, but I think that's the feeling I'm getting, though. Let's see. Oh, no, Metaphor is releasing next year.
Oh, is it next year? All
right. Killing the time. So Metaphor marks itself as a game from the key staff of 3, 4, and 5, sharing director, character designer, and composer. Let's see. This is P Studio after release of Persona 5 to form another internal team, Studio Zero. It hasn't released anything since Catherine Full Body Remake, but that was likely because it was busy with Metaphor. Persona 3 is alive and well. Our Persona 5 team is doing that, yada yada. So I'm thinking that right now, because is the Persona, who's working on Persona 3 remake?
I think it's the main Atlas team.
So main Atlas team. So the key people that make the Persona games is working on Metaphor. The staff itself are working on Persona 3, which is why I think that they can get away with a lot of what they need, because they don't need to do too much outside of like what Persona 3 has. They can add some stuff here or there, sure, because they're talented, right? I'm sure they're talented to do that. Meanwhile, the big heads are working on Metaphor. Once Metaphor is done and golded, then they'll work on 6, which is going to take a while. Persona games just brew forever. They're like right now, Persona, like Catherine Full Body was their Metaphor was being made during that time, so it's brewing for a while. So I'm thinking they want to, like, this team that's working on 3 wants to extend the life of 3 as much as they can. You can't do too much, I guess, right? Because you already got a dancing game. Why would you not want to extend that, though? Like, because you can't keep brewing on 5. We're done. I think this is the last 5 release we get.
Because I think if they're gonna go ahead and really spend the time to do Persona 3 remaster, and give us, Reload essentially, I don't think what they would do is just keep rehashing 3 at that point, because 3's already had its time to be super milked. 3 was heinously milked when it came out, and then 4 was heinously milked, and then 5. They've already gone to that well so many times. I think they just keep going backwards.
I see, and here's where we differ because of our experiences with the franchise. 4 popped off, 5 popped off. Like, 4 was popular, and I agree it was. Like, even once I hear about it, that's when the zeitgeist is happening. 5 is when it exploded, though. We're talking like Joker's in Smash. Like, that's the amount of, like, you've popped off at that point. And then a lot of the fans dug through the well and got through 4 with that. I don't think a lot of these new fans have dug through the well beyond that for 3. Now I disagree with that, because they put out Portable, sure, but Portable is not the experience you're going to be getting as you will with Reload. Reload is going to be its own thing. Like, I think that's what I'm saying is I think it is Atlas trying to formulate this as a stopgap until 6. Hey, you're doing Metaphor? cool. Can we go back and remake something and kill the time until 6? Because we can't keep really. I don't know if they can go back to 5 anymore. Like,
No, I don't.
this has to be the last.
I don't think they could do, unless they did like another actual
Fighting.
full from the ground up sequel,
Or
or
no,
like another fighting game.
Persona
too.
5
Like,
fighting is the last thing they could literally do until, all right, we need to move the fuck on from 5. I love
because
5.
We
all
already had
Go ahead.
because we already had Persona 5 in the Q series.
Q series, we've had dancing, we've had strikers, we have
Yeah.
Tactica. We literally just have arena, which, I mean, people, to be fair, like what people would like, but that's
Yeah.
the well. Like, you're tapped at that point. We cannot keep going. Everyone loves 5, but at that point, that's literally the last bit of it that you can get away with, I believe, is you can do an arena and that's it. But that means that I think we're just spending so much time on Metaphor just because they want Metaphor to be a big thing, obviously. I would love for that. But Persona 5 took a while to fucking make. And they got like a lot of, they have a bar to fucking hit now with Persona 5.
And Metaphor has been in development for 7 years. I looked it up when I last saw a comment about it, which was when Yoko Taro actually made a joke about how if Re Fantasy came out, it'd be the death of the Nier series, and that was 7 years ago. He made that joke.
Yeah, hold on. There's
So it's been brewing for that long.
hey, Apollo Justice is on Play Asia right now if you need to get that.
What's on Playstation?
Apollo Justice trilogy.
Oh yeah.
But see, and now that Metaphor, I just think that with the bar set as high for Persona 6, they need to like hit it. So they need to really spend their time on that game. Therefore, I think it's a while till we get 6. That's what I'm saying. I think it's just so long. I think the compromise they made with Atlas was, well, we want to do this. We'll make 6, but now Atlas is like, well, what do we need for Persona? Like, what do we keep in the middle? P3 is the only thing that they can get out of popularity wise, because duology would have been dope, I think, at this point, right? Like, it would have been nice for them to like just go from that. But the most commercial success they can get is if they dug through 3, made that in 5, like a 5 game, and just stuck it out and stretched it out. But you don't have that stretch, the extra stretch that you could, right? Because there's already a dancing game that was released pretty modernly.
No, the Persona 3 has been milked to fucking death.
That's what I'm saying. So you can't milk it with, you can't do an arena, you can't do an arena game, you can't do like a dancing game. You can maybe do a strikers if that works, but like I don't know if that was I don't know if that's like, at that point you're getting too blue by the blueprints, right?
Yeah.
So you need to extend this base of reload as far as you can until 6. Because think of it this way.
You're thinking that Persona has to have something in the interim.
It has to have a presence like that. That's why they put so much shit out there. You don't let Persona dry up at this point now.
But I think they do. They give it a break so that way they focus on other shit.
If they gave it a break, we wouldn't get Tactica right now. Like that Tactica and Strikers is them keeping Persona in the name loop, right?
I mean, well, that was specifically to capitalize on 5 for Strikers because 5 blew the fuck up.
Sure,
to an insane degree.
Sure, then Tactica then. Like what's the point of Tactica right now other than just to keep Persona the name?
Because that's what they do is they milk the shit out of their games.
But I'm saying more so than prior, Persona 5 has gotten more milk than anything else.
I think Persona 3 still has more tie-ins than every other Persona game.
Which other ones am I missing? I know it's in Q.
Hold on, I have a spreadsheet on this actually.
Because am I getting it wrong? I'm like,
no, the thing is that a lot of them were Japan exclusive is the thing, but Persona 3 had a metric fuck ton of
so then they can get away with it Western.
Research, history list. All right, so Persona 3, FES, Chaining Soul, Kicks, EM, Illusionist Puzzle, Broken Shadow.
And what are these?
These are all Persona 3 games.
But like, what kind are we talking? Like, what is?
Some of them are puzzle games. Some of them are other RPG. Dancing in Moonlight. So that's 8 Persona 3 games. And then technically, if we count all of them, oh, and then Portable and Social and Escape. So I forgot those. So that's 10. That's 10 Persona 3 games, just straight up dedicated to Persona 3. And then
So-
if we include in the Arena because they're part of that,
And Dancing.
2 because they're part of that. I already said Dancing.
Okay, so like I get that, but now then we're talking like stuff that wasn't released here though.
But it's still the factor of like that was the beginning of them just straight up milking each release.
So let me
And it's still the most milked.
let me phrase it this way then. As the most base Persona fan, if I didn't even know about those, you can sell those to me. Therefore, there's room for this to stretch.
I don't think they would though. Is that's again, that's my whole problem is I don't think they would waste the time and effort to stretch just one game over and over again.
Do you think you think they're gonna let Persona just like take a break?
I think that one, it's fucking Atlas. Yes, they have a history of saying, "Oh yeah, that'll be out in winter." 4 years later, "Oh yeah, it's kind of in winter still." It's fucking Atlas. One, I 100% think they would. But 2, even if they wanted to go on the gravy train and just let's go to Milk City, they're not gonna go to the same game they have again milked the more than any other game in their franchise. They're gonna try to spread it out a little bit more to some degree. We've already seen Atlas get like weirdly experimental and re-release older versions of games. We had them re-release the Last Bible series recently. I think probably if anything, they fucking go to the well with some other weird shit that just hasn't had a chance to fucking do anything. If anything, maybe we get Shin Megami Tensei If for the first time officially, or some other kind of just because If is basically the progenitor of Persona. If we didn't have If, we wouldn't have Persona. So I could see them if they still wanted to be like, fuck it. Persona 1 and the 2 duology don't exist. I could see them going the extra mile and weirdly going, all right, we're going to remaster If and all this new style.
Here's the thing, David, that I admire about you, but like you think from a fan perspective a lot of times, like, hey, what can we do? What can we do? What can we do in goodwill to like?
No, here's the thing. I am literally looking at Alex's history of bullshittery. I have been a fan of this company since the PlayStation 1. I have been ride or die with this company for so fucking long. I have seen the stupid shit this company has done, as well as the weirdly out of left field the shit this company has done. And that's why I'm so fucking adamant, as being someone that has followed this company since the PS1, that no, they're not gonna milk this one game that they've already milked already. They're either gonna give it a break, or they're gonna go ahead and go so far out of fucking left field, because again, they're not going to pay attention to what the fans want, because it's what we want back. But we're not going to get that, because they're going to be like, you know what? Let's go to the Persona happen before we got fucking anything else. Because that's Atlas.
So let's do this, because I want to move on from this. You're adamant it's DLC. What is your time frame that they will release by? Like, what's the time? I'm assuming you're saying 6 months to 1 year after this game, or are you saying sooner?
I think if it's just the answer, it could be sooner. I think 6 months would be the latest. I think if they really wanted to go ahead and add in female MC, then we would be like a year total. But I think 6 months is that sweet spot for what could potentially happen.
So you're saying 1 year tops?
Yeah, 1 year at the absolute latest if we're getting the answer and female MC. But I think if we're just getting one or the other, and I think honestly we would get the answer before we got female MC, I think that would be what happens.
So no matter, so how about this? Let me phrase it this way. If they add in a whole thing on top of extra things, you say 1 year is literally the top that they're ever going to push this. Like there's after 1 year, we will not hear anything Persona 3 related.
Yes.
$20 bet that I say after 1 year we'll get something.
If it's anything strictly Persona 3, I don't think that's happening.
So $20.
Yeah, that's
if
fine.
we get anything, and we'll put like a time for like once Persona's like once like off this obviously it's like Persona 3 is off the
from
table.
the release date of Reload.
Yes. If there is anything from the release date to Reload to even 1 day prior the 1 year thing, then David you get $20. If there is even something a week after, a year and a half after, no, it's like that was after this year. We'll do that.
Yeah.
Okay, mark it down. Episode 208.
Well, what's the high end then? Because they could always like 6 years from now.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying is I don't think once you hit the new Persona game, you're not going back here. I think we're on this gravy train of just new shit. But again, I think we're just disagreeing. I think I see Atlas as a team that just knows this Persona series. They've hit a gold mine that they've never hit before as a studio, I believe, or as a publisher with Persona where it's at right now. I think there's a reason why they keep saying Persona, and I think that because they just know they've tied up the well with 5 at this point. You literally can't, especially with the worldwide release, can't do any more 5. I think 3 is our new 6 until 6. That's why the way I see it. I think they extend 3 to be a thing, and it lives coincidentally with Metaphor until 6 is done. That's what I'm saying is I can foresee.
Right, but so from what is like the latest endpoint that you can
Persona 6
score a victory?
You're saying
just whenever.
You're saying
So it could
you're
be
saying because here's why
6,
I asked.
7, 10 years now.
Here's why I asked, because you said that for sure that Atlas would be okay with putting the Persona name away.
Yeah.
Now I'm not saying if it's like Persona Q3, I'm not saying that counts. I'm not saying anything. I'm saying if it's something Persona 3 related.
Okay, that's
Persona 3 related until 6, because I think in my argument is that Persona 3 is our new Persona 6 until Persona 6. And what does Atlas do with Persona games when they're new? They start fucking twisting those udders, baby. Like that's what they're doing. That's my argument. Is I think this is our new 6 until 6. Kel says part of this, part of me thinks this will be a DLC get worked into the game, and we get what we get. That's fair too, but I think there has to be such a you'd have to be stupid to actively avoid already made content that is well received among Persona 3. It's
Atlas.
It is without the idea of thinking something monetary behind it.
It's Atlas.
No, that's again, but see, I'm seeing Atlas from a new side. You're seeing it from a classic side, which that's where we're not gonna get anywhere with this because we're two ends of the spectrum here. But
Fair.
from my eyes, you can't just say, oh well, whatever. We just didn't want to use it. Whatever. My eyes, I'm like, no, they're gonna make their own game, and they're gonna be like, well, we heard the fan feedback, and so we're making. Here's the FES and here's Persona 5 3 Reload completed or something like that. I think that's what we're seeing. I think the Royal version is everything that's missing from Portable and FES. If Persona 3 Reload was literally all encompassing, I would think, oh, okay, cool, one and done, we're out, sweet, that's it. But the fact that it's actively not adding that, something's off. Anyway, move on from fucking Persona. So what else do you want to talk about specifically from the Microsoft thing?
Well, I mean, we kind of casually mentioned it. Metaphor. Excited to see that finally after 7+ years.
I like whenever there's a thing that I know that David might know. I just like to keep pestering him, like, what is it, David? So it's like, yeah, seeing Metaphor pop up, or just when David got it, and you can tell it's a deep cut from his reaction to that.
Yeah.
It's pretty funny.
Well, because literally, it was one of those things where they just said, "Hey, we're working on a new thing called Project Re Fantasy. Yeah, we'll talk to you later about it." And then this is like the
7 years
first
later.
Yeah, years later is the first real mention of it we've had since then.
Yeah, which is cool. Like that's good to know that it's there. And how do you think it looks? I know you said you're kind of upset that it's a little bit too Persona-y. It doesn't feel like its own thing.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping if they were going to go the route of doing a new IP, essentially, that
Do something
they
weird and
would've-
different, like because you're
Do
gonna be
something
stuck
weird-
doing this well of Persona, and it's so, so iconic. Now is your time to do something different, because otherwise you're gonna be pigeonholed here forever, I think.
And especially if you're going to borrow mechanics from your other series, borrow from mainline and not Persona.
Sure.
Like, just mechanically speaking, like, yeah, Persona genuinely has a lot of the more rabid fan bases because of easier to identify with stories than mainline SMT. But mechanically speaking, mainline has always been far better than Persona.
I also feel like SMT is a cooler style to adapt to, because Persona is just so unique.
Persona is definitely very much like a very flashy style kind of thing, and it works really well for it.
Right, but I feel like SMT is like grounded enough to like you can go other places with it, right?
Right.
Yeah. It did look very like the menus were like, oh, that's Persona. Like,
Yeah, the menus 100% were Persona. The way that it looks like you're gonna have party management look straight out of Persona as well. There's just a lot of stuff that I look at and I go, that is a really nice looking medieval Persona game. There's, for how long that they've been quiet about this game, and for what I've kind of been hoping for it to be, I hate that it looks so derivative.
right. I'm sure it'll play good. Like I have no doubt that it'll be a
No,
good
I
game.
have no
But
doubt that
that's
mechanically
definitely a
sound.
bit of a bummer no, because it's like you guys could do something wildly different, but like now you guys are known as like strictly like that Persona style, when you could have made a whole new style and just gone with it, right?
And especially where Atlas is no strangers to switching things up and doing weird shit, whether it's mainline, the Devil Survivor series, the Devil Summoner series. They constantly do things different and reinvent the wheel. So to see something so played safely is a little disheartening.
I'm getting to the point where I think that the Persona team is just so good at Persona that that's all they know. But like that's not a bad thing. It sounds negative, but that's just kind of what they know.
I don't want that to be the case though, because if it's because literally if the day
Right.
when the day comes and that comes out, and if literally all I can muster the energy to say about it is, I mean, yeah, it's Persona in a medieval setting, that's gonna be one of the most disappointing fucking releases.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you
But-
know what? Fucking people say what you want about goddamn Tokyo Mirage Sessions. At least that was a wholly unique game.
Yeah. I mean, it still had like inklings of it, but like you could tell it was different, which is cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then really quick, just to go back, because I feel like P6 is further along than we think. I feel like they could throw together an anime teaser and call it a day.
I don't think they've really made any progress on that, honestly.
I think they need the minds of the director on that. Not that they couldn't. I think that's why they're defaulting to 3, because you don't really need. You've already have the basis of that. Just let them run free and let them add whatever they want. But like you need the director, I think, on.
It's like Blooper Team working on Silent Hill 2. You know, you literally just have to follow the blueprint.
Right, and I'm sure they can add flair if they need to wherever else. But like they got the blueprint, which is the easiest thing. Let's see. Let me go pull up anything else. So what else stuck out to you at the Xbox Showcase? Avowed?
I mean, I find it fascinating that they have the audacity to release a $350 version of the Xbox Series S just because it has a slightly larger hard drive.
Yeah, that's it was a prime opportunity. Okay, so like someone did the inflation calculator, and like 300 a couple years ago is now 350 now. Welcome to inflation. Uh, but now it's $50 off of a PS5 digital edition, which is like the $100 price point was the one that was a good buffer. $50, I would probably recommend a PS5 digital at that point.
Especially if you're not even like starting to decrease the base unit. $50, just talking about hard drive sizes in general, $50 for 500 gigabytes is such a shit deal.
Right. Yeah. Unless you're doing like the whole memory card thing that consoles do now.
Well, only Xbox does that, but
That's fair. Yeah. So that was a bummer. Like that could have been a really solid. Like holy shit, $300 for that thing would have been killer. And then drop the base down at 250.
Yeah.
Done.
Or even retire the base. Fuck it. Hey, here's the new one. Just we have this one new model, same price point, but more hard drive space.
Sure.
There we go.
That would have been clean. And I think that might even sold you away because you were thinking about it for a little while, and you should still think about the S or the Series S just regular. It's still a good deal.
I'm contemplating it at some point. I mean, I've been seeing it go down to like 230 on certain sales, and I've almost been tempted for it. But
There was
I might.
a Verizon deal for 150 for that thing at some point. Like I think I want to say late last year, and I was like, oh, fuck, I kind of wanted to buy it just for the sake of buying it for 150. That's nuts. But $200 is definitely feasible on that thing, and that should be a no-brainer. Avowed, David, what do you feel?
I mean, it looks good. Looks like fucking holy hell. New Vegas guys doing what they do best.
Right. Someone, I'm gonna go see it as a real tweet.
There we go. Holy shit.
Oh, I thought you were playing a joke.
No, I legitimately was struggling to remember the fucking dev names. But no, it looks like fucking Obsidian doing what Obsidian does best. I'm excited.
Here, David, let me. Oh, fuck, the guy deleted it. Son of a bitch. Let me see if someone. Yeah, that guy got ratioed hard. Someone responded back to Avowed saying, do you guys even have dialogue options in this game? And then the Avowed Twitter responded back with just an image of Obsidian Games. And the guy deleted his comment prompt because you got ratio. I was like, it's Obsidian, what the fuck? No, the first time ever, no dialogue options.
I mean, that would be a bold fucking choice, let's be honest. But
like, oh yeah, that's exactly what it was. But yeah, Valve looks cool. I'm glad they're showing off. I'm glad they're doing what they want. People are like, oh, the graphics aren't quite to where they need to be. I just want a fun game, and I'm not expecting like graphical infidelity from like Obsidian. They just have a good time and a good story.
No, give me 60 FPS. That's what that truly at this point, that's all I fucking care about.
So
give me a consistent 60 FPS.
So here's the thing, and you're gonna kind of fight it off for a second, but Digital Foundry kind of did a deep dive of this and said that like, what was it? Because I read it too. Because someone also made a prediction back in like October of last year saying you're gonna see games at 30 FPS again, because of Unreal Engine 5, and because of where everything is at these days, especially with the console, like the talk of the most powerful console is not a thing anymore. Like we're now almost 3 years, 2.5 years into these consoles. Like they're getting dated now. We don't have fucking shit for optimization. You're right, but also like the games, just development cycles in general have ballooned. Like that's where we're at with everything. Development cycles of last gen and the gen prior were like 2-year turnaround time. Half a decade turnaround time is like where you're looking at for games now. Like that's just where we're at. And development time with that turnaround in this big of a scope, it's getting to a point where these consoles can't do it at that rate anymore. and it sucks because like it feels like we just missed a step, right? Like it feels like we went from games that were like, oh, everything can run on the PS4 and Xbox One. Okay, we're here. What about games that run at a really high level? But it feels like we skipped it. Like, all right, now we're looking at games that can't run at that level, right? Like, I get why we have that weird thing, but even Digital Foundry was doing a deep dive saying like, we're not going to get that because of just how development cycles are and the input on these games of where they're at. I think there was some PlayStation fanboy that was talking shit about Starfield being 30 FPS, and because Phil Spencer said it was a creative choice to be at 30 FPS for Starfield on consoles.
Okay, fuck off.
Now that's
Fuck
what that
off.
guy said, but like someone at Santa Monica Studio for Sony who worked on Ragnarok said, no, that's true because right now you're either looking at a game that's gonna have pop in, or a game that doesn't have pop in, and that
Or maybe don't build your game off a fucking 15-year-old engine and keep adding higher fidelity graphics to it, expecting it to hold up.
so now that's part, but it's not just Bethesda. Like these are games now. Like games are like kind of all hitting that, especially if you're open world like that. It's a stylish choice to not have pop in like that. Like I mean, it's a dumb argument, but I get it too. Like Tears of the Kingdom shows that people like deal with a game at that level as long as it's fun like that. Now, the argument opposite is that, well, yeah, it's running on a 2017 tablet versus like a brand new console. I agree too. But Starfield is different from Tears of the Kingdom. Like that's a whole gap.
I don't think that argument holds water. Like I think there needs to be a bigger conversation about game development studios actually having realistic expectations for setting release schedules and for optimization.
We're at, yeah, and I in a smart world, yes, but like these games are just, the development time is actually wild. Like it's absurd. Like, do they spend an extra year on it to make it like that, which makes it a 6-year turnaround now? Or because they've seen the audiences will tolerate it at 30, do they get the year out and eventually those years stack up into a whole new game? I don't know. Like it's the smart one is, yeah, we would like our best optimized thing at that point, but like the turnaround time again, like I think I forget if I mentioned it with you, but like if you made a new IP today, it's a next gen game.
Here's the thing. This is what's so shitty and so dumb about all this argument about it. There was a survey fucking done recently, where they went ahead and I think it was actually like a Steam hardware survey or something like that. Do you know the percentage of people that still predominantly play 1080p?
A lot.
90%.
Yeah.
90% of people still just play shit at 1080p.
Mm-hmm.
It is a very minuscule amount of the market that gives a shit about anything beyond that. Stop chasing that fucking micro percentage, design it around 1080p, optimize performance, and then go ahead and use upscaling technology that's become very fantastic to go ahead and then get you to that 4K that you want to.
A lot of it is too, though. Like that's kind of the thing. People are like, they get 4K. A lot of it's not 4K. It's like upscaled 4K. And to that credit, I think here's what's happening. Marketing buzz looks so much better around fidelity modes versus performance mode. I'm performance mode all day. Give me higher frame rate, 100% over graphics. Like you and I are on that boat for sure. But it doesn't sell. And have you ever had this conundrum yet? I don't know if you have. I love when, because people buy, oh, look at this 4K OLED TV. Have you ever seen them like not fuck with the settings to a point where like the show doesn't look good? Have you ever had that yet?
Or... Most people that buy a 4K TV.
Yeah, they buy it because the consumers will buy anything that's fancy, but they won't configure shit. So like even like my family, they had that TV, but they didn't put the blur on right. So like it looks like, you know when you see shows and it looks like just like the studio. Like
yeah,
it's like
it's a soap opera effect.
Yeah, it's like you could see like the studio. Like that's you can see the artificial lighting, you can see this, you can see that, but they don't realize that. And I go and I'm like, hold up, look, click, 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 boom, and now it looks like the whole. They're like, whoa, I'm like, because you weren't looking at it, but they thought they were, because they're like, whoa, it's, but they don't configure anything. So like, I can promise you, so many of these games right now are being played at suboptimal level. I feel like that's why they've had to like as of like what 2 or 3 years ago, where now it's like the first thing you load up on a game is like, all right, here's your video settings. What do you want? That's why that's the first thing we load up now. Is because otherwise they just don't, but they think they're just getting the right thing. They could be on 30 frames, like, whoa, this is so fast. Like, yo, you're on 30 frames, flip it up. Oh, it's 60 frames now. Now it's smooth. So what's happening is the marketing of these leans towards them giving you graphic fidelity, but like player bases, like the people that play games, will all the time put it up to like the best performing. Like,
and that's why I still think it's short-sighted to even bother, because even Square Enix has made comments recently, and I think we kind of touched on it very briefly a couple weeks ago, of even they're seeing pre-order numbers far lower than they expected with 16, with nothing but the insane praise that has had going into that game. And I think it's because gamers at this point, the people that are going to consistent, especially at $70 fucking dollars, that are going to be consistently buying these fucking games, are tired of shit running like ass.
Yeah.
No, I had Kels in the chat. I'm willing to forgive FPS as long as the reasoning holds true, but I'm also on PC, so I'm unaffected. No, because still we have a lot of developers that optimize for console first and PC second, and it runs like shit. But no, I will not. Absolutely not. There is zero reason at this day and age, with the insane power that we have with computers, that you can't guarantee every game to be a minimum of 60 frames per second.
On PC.
On consoles either. The current gen consoles are running the equivalent of fucking 2090s.
No, I get that, but I think the scope is just ballooned. That's what I think. I think in general the scope needs to be condensed more, and then we can start hitting that.
I don't disagree, but that's my point. Is there should be no reason that a game comes out at less than 60 frames per second as the standard.
Sure. I mean, like reasoning wise, sure, but I mean, it's always gonna be 4K. It's gonna sound better than 60 FPS. That's just the name of the game. Is marketing wise.
Except to the people that are actually buying this shit, which is why companies are reporting insanely lower than normal pre-order numbers.
I don't. Do pre-orders really market that much? I feel like there's still
shareholders, yes.
Yeah, but ultimately, once the product is out, it's out, and I think that. We've hit a day and age right now, which is weird, right? It's like we've hit a day and age where it's like a game can come out shitty and still progressively do well. Cyberpunk did that. Cyberpunk had a whole shit.
The big fucking...
Yeah, they had a whole fucked up thing, but they still came back, and I think a lot of companies just bank on doing that. And that's why you see the same copy pasted fucking apology letter, because they just want to replicate the let's just get it out and then fix it later, which is the remedy for not having that long development cycle. They want to cut the extra year out. They want to have no one wants the 5-year cycle. That's the shitty thing right now. It's like no one wants to spend an extra year on this. Therefore, they cut out the extra year and they move it on there. Zelda had that 5-year structure to make it where it's at. In fact, it added an extra year to fix it up more. Companies would rather shave out the extra year, get the profit right now, and then extend it over time. And we're no one. It's a shit practice. Like we can argue about it. It's a shit practice. I'm just saying that's their rationale. It's a shit rationale.
No, and I'm not disagreeing that that's the rationale. But what I'm saying is we are starting to see the long-term effects of that. People stop giving a shit and stop paying money for shit.
Unfortunately, I think it needs to be loud and proud when it happens. So like. People could stop pre-ordering, but they're gonna buy it. That's
no, they're gonna pirate it.
But like I'm saying though, until we have a game that actively does that to a huge ramification, Cyberpunk's still doing well. No Man's Sky is still doing well. Like until I have a massive AAA flag-bearing game, we're not talking Gotham Knights. We're talking like a massive game that gets hit like that. the ship hasn't sailed, and I think I want to say that's why like the Suicide Squad got delayed, because no one wants to be that game. No one wants to be the game that sunk all this time in and literally loses it all. But people are willing to sacrifice the smaller ones like Gotham Knights to get that.
I think that's fair. I think until we see that happen to Call of Duty, or if we see it happen to 16 potentially,
It won't happen at 16. Like, I promise you.
it won't, but
Like, even I was gonna say is even I'm probably gonna grab that because I want to be in the zeitgeist. I want to have a good ass game of the
I'm
year
not
talk
buying
with
it at
everything.
launch.
You're not buying it a lot. Well, I can't buy it at launch. I'm gonna be gone. But like I'm thinking of, because I want to be in the talk. I want to be.
I will definitely get it as soon as it's on a good sale. I'm hoping that that guy that we go through on eBay sometimes doesn't actually put anything up in a while.
Rest in peace.
So yeah, I think they're done with it. But I mean, I truly hope that at some point this year, maybe Black Friday or something, I can grab it. But
It will be on, obviously, but
I'm definitely not grabbing it. I will not, unless it's something I know I really give a fuck about and I'm gonna play that fucking day. I'm not buying games at fucking $70.
I respect that. What have I bought at retail? Even Zelda, I did the whole buy 2 get 1, and I just canceled the other 2. So I don't think have I bought anything at full retail? No, I don't think I bought a full retail game this year. That's kind of held true, which is nice.
There's only been a few for me. Like I got Octopath Traveler 2 at full retail because I was expecting to jump into that right away, and I didn't.
And that was also a weird case. It has had price drops, but Octopath Traveler 1 didn't, so it could have totally just faltered. But yeah, I don't think I paid full price. I'm gonna, like, Diablo. It's coming to me in the mail tomorrow, which I'm not gonna get to until obviously when I come back from like 2 trips from now. But it was a buy 2 get 1, so it came down to it came down out of price. So I was like willing to buy it at that point. So yeah, I'm on that boat. If I see it for cheap, I should say. But either way, I want to get it just because I want to be part of that talk for sure. Kels, I feel like exclusivity has to do more with low pre-orders and performance.
I kind of have to hard disagree, if only just because Square's not a
Didn't 7 do
to
really well?
exclusivity. 7 did phenomenal. Now, granted, you could also make the argument that 7 had the advantage of being 7, but at the same time, Square's no stranger to exclusivity. They know this rodeo.
Are they strangers
very
to
well.
love?
Exactly. They know the rules, and so do I. But no, it's one of those things that they know historically what they should be projecting, and especially considering everything that has gone into marketing with 16. So to see all the good, and especially because of the online goodwill that has been shown towards the game, to see that it's still performing way under what they are projecting. Now, granted, also, I'll admit, Square has had some dumb expectations of what games should be selling in the past, but at the same time, it's kind of one of those things that it's not just them that have been concerned with pre-orders. Some other companies have mentioned it. In fact, it was one of the non-game summer game shit that I threw in there. We don't really have to talk about it, but like Embracer Group has seen far less of expected shit than they were expecting, so they're shutting some studios down, which is wild to see, considering how many they just acquired.
Yeah, well, because they had a big thing fall through, right? Didn't they have like some massive deal that they just fell through last second
there
and
was like
fucked
a
their
multi-billion-dollar deal,
and it fucked their shareholders? So I don't know if that might be that's kind of a unfortunate thing because we can't tell. That's a that deal fucked them. That was always the problem with the remake. 7 doesn't stand up and fails. It overshadows everything going forward, or other doesn't stand up and fails or overshadows everything. That's why. What was it? There was something a while back. I forget what we were arguing, and I was like, I put 7 over 16. I forget what it was. I think it was most anticipated or something like that when we were doing Game Award stuff or something like that. I forget what, but I was arguing that 7 because just 7 is iconic. 16, it's a mainline thing and it looks cool, but 7 is just everyone knows 7. Let's see, where did I leave this at? Let me go through a couple other of these really quick and then let's dip out.
Yeah.
South of Midnight. Compulsion Games showed up with their new game. That looked really cool. It was one of like the banjo thing, but like again, give me gameplay. Therefore, because no gameplay, I'm moving on. Star Wars Outlaws got shown off at the Ubisoft thing, which I didn't even watch. I heard Prince of Persia looked cool though. So 33 Immortals. We were talking kind of through that. I didn't really give it too much. I had like a weird opposite thought where I'm like, now it was too much gameplay. What's going on? And luckily for the extended showcase, they actually like sat down and played it. It looked really cool. It's a 33 player online co-op game. So you're launching with these 30 people, but it's like an overall map. Like it's a map that you guys can all kind of explore your own. So you could be like 33 people. It could be like you, me, and like 2 other people randomly. Let's go on that side while everyone else is doing this other big thing over here. So you guys are all living in this world, and you can actively look up the map and you can see icons of everything, and you can see where everyone's at. That sold me on it because I thought it was like a 33 player co-op. Like, all right, we all go to the same place. It's like no, it's like a world living map that you guys are all playing on, but you guys can like all venture out different places. And it could be like, all right, you take on that side, I take on this side. Let's meet in the middle and let's all tackle this boss together.
That's kind of neat, actually.
Yeah, it was like an active living map of 30 people doing stuff like that. I was like, oh, that's cool. I'm in on that for sure.
Like that sounds like a perfect microcosm of raiding in an MMO.
Yeah, it's like an active living world, but like not to that extent. It's like, hey, we're all doing stuff, but we're all living, and we're just like, hey, there's 2 other people. Let's just go follow them and do whatever they're doing. So I'm in on that for sure. At Vegas Street Fighter 6 today, yeah, I'll play Street Fighter 6 after this. I'm gonna try to finish World Tour mode. But yeah, so that sold me on that. I was wondering about that because I'm like, this looks cool, but show me more. That's what I wanted to see. That looked dope. Payday 3 is $40 at launch. So Cal's at the comments saying, Cal's at the comments saying this looks like more Payday 2. Well, there you go. That's why. Type Persona talked about Avowed. Sea of Thieves Monkey Island. Sea of Thieves. Y'all are eating good. I'm happy for y'all, dude. Y'all are living the best life right now, and I am so excited that you guys are just doing it. That's a game that Rainbow Six Siege and Sea of Thieves are 2 games in alternate world. I was in. That's a game that alternate me is like playing the shit out of those 2 games right now, and good for me in that world because I'm jealous. Every time I see this, I'm like, yeah, that's a game I would have liked. Same with like No Man's Sky. Flight Sim doing some rescue missions sounds dope as fuck. I was so excited for that. I'm like, that sounds like something I would love to do. So whenever that happens and we're able to do that, I'm in on that. So kudos. I'll probably buy a flight stick for that too because that looks super fun. Also, there's a Dune thing in there, David. Shout outs.
Hell yeah.
Hellblade 2. People are upset that, hey, it's been all this time. All we see is just like kind of production of the game. We're not seeing active like gameplay in there. And valid point.
Yeah.
It was shown way too early.
At the same time, I think at this point we're still not gonna get like a hyper focus on gameplay.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. But I'm gonna stand on this hill. I've said it on stream. I'm gonna say it again. Hellblade 2. If it does everything that Ninja Theory wants, I think that is Microsoft's game of the year finally. I think Microsoft has been chasing this fabled game of the year. They've not had one personally. And Hellblade 2 is kind of like, and I mentioned, I hate saying this is fucking weird, but listen to what I'm saying. It's the perfect kind of like zeitgeist game, woke, quote unquote, terrible word, but like the zeitgeist game where it's about mental health. It's female protagonist. It's third person narrative. It's like an action adventure game. Everyone eats that shit up.
Also, since it was announced, it's been the only game since its announcement still to this day that I looked at it and went, that's a next gen game.
The first game we saw next gen was a next gen game, yeah.
that was the first one. That has still been the only one that has looked like a fucking next gen game.
Because here's the thing: is there have been next gen games, but they haven't blown me away like it has been from generations prior. Like Rise coming from a 360 was like, holy shit. When we're like Killer Instinct and Forza and even Knack coming from like the prior era was like, whoa, this is crazy. We haven't had that jump, and I always felt like that jump has always been very minor since then. But yeah, Hellblade has been like, oh, they're leading that charge on there, but they were just starting. Like they've made that comment saying, from our just we're at the fucking goddamn bottom of the fucking base level of this game, which was cool to announce, but I think they that was really early. But I think Hellblade 2, if it pulls off everything Ninja Theory wants, I think that's Microsoft's, like, that's their game of the year.
Real quick, just because I was looking at the Embracer Group announcement, I forgot that's also part of the reason why we probably haven't seen anything for Perfect Dark, is they're also working on that as well.
Yeah, and they said that they still are working on it, though, to be fair.
Yeah. That's probably why we also haven't seen anything with that, is all the shit going on with them.
Sure. Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth. So that's Yakuza, Yakuza 9 or 8.
Yep, 8.
It's 8.
Yeah, 'cause 7 was Like a Dragon. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's starting to get confusing with all these Like a Dragon things. David, do you want to go off for a second about physical games? You want to have you have an old school David's rant?
Fucking dumb.
You want to have an you want to pull from the heartstrings about David's rant right now about some physical games?
They go ahead and they gave us a trailer. My boy Kiryu, they're having another story with him, a side story. The man with no name, or the man that lost his name, one of those two. Can't remember which it is exactly in this moment. And it's fucking digital only. The audacity. The utter fucking audacity. I'm sitting... Yakuza has had a long, long history of, even throughout all of its nichest periods, having physical fucking copies of their goddamn games.
Except for one time, right? Or no, that was what was the PS?
Every single game that has come out has had a physical version. Yakuza 5 never originally came out in the US. So that's why that one didn't get a PS3 release. But they have the audacity to go ahead and make sure that we even have physicals of all the games in the West now. Just to be like, nah, this side story with Kiryu, fuck you. You don't get that. Get out of here. Eat shit. That's a digital only thing. The fucking audacity. My boy, ready for fucking retirement. My geriatric Kiryu. You're going to go ahead and lock behind a goddamn digital only thing. That's bullshit.
Alan Wake.
Fuck off. Honestly, out of spite, I don't even want to fucking buy the new version of it. I just want to go ahead and just play the PC version I have of that.
Sure.
Like, there's no excuse. Square Enix is releasing Final Fantasy VII Rebirth on 2 fucking discs. They're literally the meme of, oh, for every 1 disc you don't print, I'm printing 2, asshole. Like,
but we also talked about how they did limited prints of the Pixel remaster when they can do more.
That's because they're trying to fucking do artificial market scarcity to make more money.
Do you think though that we have, like, statistically people are buying more digital than physical, but like, are we hitting that plateau? Do you think finally, or is it there will always be physical? Like there will always
be a physical market. That will never not happen.
Do you think we're gonna? Do you think we're finally starting to hit that plateau where some AAA games are just like?
I do think so, if only because of, honestly, PC gaming. I've mentioned this a lot. PC games physical are fucking bargain bin prices. They're so dirt cheap to get because no one gives a fuck about physical media for their PC. And now we've hit a point where there's enough crossover between PC gamers and console gamers to where people are just like, yeah, I just want the convenience of, and you yourself are this way to some degree, I just want the convenience of, I download it to my console, I have my library all there, and I just switch.
So it depends on the game, right?
Yeah.
Which Outback says, is Big Dave physical or digital? Big Dave is physical until the day he dies.
Yeah.
It depends on the game.
Until
so
the day my house burns down, and then fuck it, at that point I'm digital only.
Yeah, I think if anything were to happen to everything, I think I would probably just call it quits out of collecting. I just keep it minimalistic.
Yeah.
Don't burn my house down. It depends on the game. So if it's like, I was early on the digital train for Nintendo, but then I swiftly went back off into physical for the retail games. Like Diablo, I was gonna get digital at first because I'm like, that's a game that you can kind of just go in, jump in, do a couple things, and jump back out. For like Yakuza, I could never do just digital on that game because it's like that's a long game that you're gonna be in for a while. I just don't want to. I don't want to like keep it digital. Like I'd rather just be a disc. I don't know. It's like for genre-based games, like I can find a way to do that, unless it's like like price error or like clearanced out cheap as fuck. I don't really buy big games so but I mean like on a Steam Deck or something like that, then sure, I might double dip on some games like that. It's unfortunate. I feel like this is the first little bit of physical is going away. And to that credit too, it's hard to find some games even now. It's hard to find some games physical once you miss that boat. It's almost like old school GameStop days where if you didn't pre-order it, you're kind of boned.
Yeah.
Sucks, but I don't know what else to do about it. Whoops. Let's see. Kells is praying for a limited run open pre-order. I know like THQ Nordic was opening up to Alan Wake about doing that. I don't know about anything else though. Let's see. David, anything to say about Path of the Goddess?
I mean, it looks neat. It was giving me Onimusha and Okami vibes in weird ways. So I don't know. I'm excited to see more of that.
Sure. Overwatch 2, we kind of talked about that. Cold story missions are happening. That I'm not even gonna talk about the pay structure because David's gonna piss off.
I'm gonna piss off.
Yeah. Jasant, that looked cool. That's the climbing looking game.
Oh, City Skylines 2, that looks fantastic. I'm excited for that.
Yeah, that. Still Wakes the Deep, that looked cool.
Clockwork Revolution looked neat. Looks
yeah,
like
that one really took a lot of people off guard. This is kind of what I'm saying with Xbox, where it's like, I was saying in the extended showcase. Let me say my spiel here. Redfall is an unfortunate misstep by Microsoft, and it sucks because Microsoft is doing the right move to a fault. Microsoft is like, we bought you, do what you want, goodbye. And that's what these people are doing. So like, Clockwork Revolution is like, these games are like obviously passion project games these people are doing. What fucked up is that they just had faith in Arcane. I mentioned this before on the podcast. They had faith in Arcane and just said, oh, Arcane, you want to do this game? Okay, cool, bye. But Arcane was like, no, we don't want to do this game. But they I don't know how you get away with saying that. So now Microsoft has to reevaluate the way it approaches things. But like, the way they approach things was so good in that sense, right? Like, it's literally, hey, go have fun, do what you want. Obsidian, Grounded, Pentiment, and Avowed, that's good shit. Like that's a solid triple banger from Obsidian. Obviously Inexcel doing this, Compulsion Games doing I forget what the name is already, but like they're getting to do whatever they want because Microsoft doesn't really, they just bought it and gave them free reign. But Arcane might have just fucked a lot of that up through Redfall because they didn't want to do that game. It's such a precarious situation Microsoft is in right now. Cause like, what the fuck do you do? Do you just continue to let these studios that you know are really well done? Cause like Hi-Fi Rush, right?
Yeah.
That was cool. Like, let them do what they want. But now they have to step in more. And are they gonna start stepping in more? When do they say, no, we don't let you do that? I don't know. It's a weird situation, but like, I hope that they figure it out because Clockwork Revolution is the kind of shit that you want to see for Microsoft, which is like, yeah, that looks BioShock Infinite, which is cool. And then wrapping that all up, I know we didn't watch it. I'm good. I'll play when it comes out, but like, from what I'm hearing, Starfield looked good, and the year they took off. I don't know if you saw it side by side, David, but people put a side by side of like, let me show you real quick if I can find it. Kill some time really quick because I gotta look for it.
I mean, I truly don't care. 0 fucks to give for Starfield.
No, I get that, but let me. Oh, here it is. This puts me some faith in this. Oops. David, check the stream chat.
You check the stream chat.
Shit. Chat box said, y'all running some SF6 sets?
No, I got the spear as soon as the podcast is done.
Yeah, so I'll get World Tour, maybe play a little bit, and then dip out because I gotta finish cleaning before I'm out.
Unfortunately for me, it's Microsoft Patch Tuesday, so I have 37 servers I got to patch throughout the week.
Shout out to Microsoft.
Where the fuck did you send that?
It's in the actual like video chat. If you look at the chat icon for the call.
Oh, that's right. All right.
So I'm gonna load up the tweet here.
Yep, they increased the visual fidelity.
But at least like it makes me think that the actual game is gonna.
No.
All right.
It'll be like Fallout 4, knee deep in content. Absolutely boring as shit.
I can't show it off. All right, whatever. Shinobi has it. It looks like the lighting is better, obviously, but I don't know. I'll hope it's good. I always hope these games are good. Will it work out? I don't know. With that said, I don't think there's anything else that really popped up that we need to talk about, right?
No, I think that really covers it.
Cool. We're gonna dip out of here. Twitch.tv/thepunked. I'll be on in a couple minutes. If even, I'm literally gonna end it and just go right straight there. I'll be finishing up World Tour and maybe playing a little bit more. We'll see how long it takes. We'll be back Tuesday again next week. I think next like 3 episodes might be on Tuesday. We'll see. This next Tuesday should be fine. The following Tuesday might be a little late, and it'll be a late and a short podcast probably because I'm flying in a bit late, so I'm gonna literally get here and just record right away. So we'll see how tired I am. But wait. Let's before we leave, let's go over our actual our predictions really quick. David, we already mentioned it. You had reminder showcase. What happened in this game? You kind of got that, but it wasn't really a showcase. We just kind of got reminders on a couple games, but they seemed like they were set to. So I'm not gonna give you a point on that. More backward compatible games.
Definitely did not get that.
Unfortunate. Activision officially brought in.
Nope. FTC's like, fuck that.
I thought for a second because he had the Hexen shirt on. I'm like, oh shit, is it happening? And it's not happening. More Atlas games. You got it. A bigger push for indies. No. The Xbox Extended Showcase had that. Not this one. David's big banger drop was Elder Scrolls 6. That did not happen. And then if Microsoft had to acquire anyone, they said they'd buy Eureka. They didn't buy anyone. I think they're not going to buy anyone until this merger's over. Banjo's happening. Banjo didn't happen still. I don't know why. Killer Instinct's happening, not happening. I don't know why. Marcus Phoenix Collection's happening. I don't know what the fuck that was. That seemed like that felt like my freebie. Fable trailer, we got it. Avowed, got it. Big banger drop, Perfect Dark, MIA. And then acquiring GSC Game World, the soccer developers. No, but I mean, I just kind of like to do the whole who they buying because that was a fun thing for a couple of years. But obviously, Microsoft has to finish chewing what they bit off right now, and that's going to be a little while, it seems. We'll see. So officially, I win just because of Fable and Avowed.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. All right. Anyone that's still here, thanks for hanging out. We'll see you guys next Tuesday. And anyone wants to hang out and watch some World Tour and maybe play a little more afterwards, I'll go on twitch.tv/thepunked in a minute. So, deuces.